Yo, YouTube. What is going on? What is going on? It's your boy Dino Bam Bam here with the 10-7 MMA. I don't know why this shit's on there, but hey, we're here. We're here to talk about UFC Fight Night Sacramento, and that's Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Robocop Rodrigues. And as you guys can tell, we see the little chat going on here. I appreciate all the little comments before, but there's no Diaz, right? I'm going to need all that bail money because Diaz ain't here. He's still locked up in that Mexican prison, and Vex couldn't come up with the money, guys. Vex could not come up with it, and it's okay, Vex. We don't got to, we can't count on you all the time to come up with the goddamn bail money, but I do appreciate the sentiment. Who else we got in the chat? Obviously, I might be wrong. He's going to be joining us here in a couple of minutes. We also have another guest who's here. I'm going to bring him on in a second, but we got the ENG. Let's get that bag this time. Hey, we got the bag last time, brother. 3 wrong on a fucking nightmare card. Who else we got? Misum Raza. We winning big. Hell yeah, big time. DS, bro. Stop fighting the cartel and make predictions. I'm saying. And of course, Davey in the chat. Big money. Davey, you already know the deal. So like I said, guys, pre-show live today. Got a little bit of a stacked episode. We have me. We're going to have I Might Be Wrong, a.k.a. Chunda. He's going by Chunda now. Officially changed the channel name. And right now, here in the flesh, we got my boy, another mainstay of this goddamn show. Ladies and gentlemen, MMA Toad. Toad, what up, my boy? I can't hear you.
That's on me. My bad.
My bad.
Hey, happy to be back, brother. Love the 10-7 MMA show. And shout out to Bam Bam joining in on his first UFC fight card draft. Started at number 5, so the fun position where you get to pick twice. I think everyone had a pretty good stacked team going into it. That's what always makes it interesting. So 4 fighters apiece in a lot of cases. Yeah, I love that your final 2 picks were ones that I was kind of waiting for, if not was going to grab myself. So salute there. And yeah, shout out Fluffy, shout out Taco. These are 2 guys I'm getting behind this week. 2 of the biggest really stars in the stadium when you look at the star power of this card as well. So I know the fans would absolutely blow up and rupture, not only to win, but win with some conviction, right? I know a lot of people may have Taco by decision, but you can never count out the style in which he fights to maybe get it done, whether that be a knockout or a submission. So he certainly tries. He puts his head down, fucking goes for it, sends it. And as busy as he may be, he found time this week to show some love, as he always does. And you got to root for him for that. Fluffy, I'm catching up on his interviews. It's just put me in the cage. I'll fucking whatever. Like, this is stupid. Like, it's like, it's his style too. And it's something that I actually kind of love because he's just so hard nosed. Like, just get me in the fucking cage. Like, I'm not here for your circus. I'm not your monkey. I'm not your monkey. I'm a fucking fighter. And he's just cool in his own way. You know what I mean?
He's a dog.
Anyways, yeah, very excited for both those guys. Excited to be on the show. Shout out. 10-7 MMA show. This is the show, only pre-fight show that I know of. I certainly tried making some. Nothing happened, but here I found yours, and I'm like, this is the show. So here we are.
Toad, I've seen a couple people online as of these last week or two. They're trying to snake. You know what I mean? And it's okay. I don't own the pre-show. I'm just saying we were the first pre-show.
Yeah. Like I said, I certainly hit live and hung out and was hoping people would come through and get excited about the fights. Like, I made the joke that I'm just here to tailgate because I did the fight companions for a long time now and had just wanted people to hop through maybe early if I broadcasted. Not a whole lot happened, and that's over time how we crossed paths, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're doing the show. Like, that this is where everyone's at. Duh. I've been over here in a fucking isolated land, and it's out over here in Chicago. So there we are.
Let's fucking go. Vex in the chat saying, what up, Toad? He's shouting you out. And then, of course, we got a mainstay of the chat, Tehran Brown. Tehran, what up, homie? We got, how bright is it in my guy's room for him to be wearing some blue-ass sunglasses, Toad?
Let me do some fucking trigonometry on that little comment here, right? These are prescribed, and they actually are my most recent prescription. I have glasses that I wear, but I'm involved in so much tech, and like, I'm on call right now. So though I respect seeing true color, this polarized filter I'm using allows me to be plugged in without being zapped, because blue light energy is a big thing. Deteriorated some of my vision before I knew what it was. And so I wear prescription glasses, and I wear these. So I rock out both flavors. Just if I'm in front of a screen, that's how we do it, baby.
It's got to be the blue light.
You obviously can see that light right there too. That don't feel good in your eyes, baby. So
the light, big time. Tehran says, "What up, Toad? Money Mitch in the chat. What up, guys? I'm in Cleveland going to RAF tonight. Hell yeah, Mitch. Shout out Money Mitch. If you guys don't know Mitch, you should know Mitch. He's been on the last 2 pre-shows, but go show him some love. Great content creator. Definitely going to have Mitch back on at some point in the near future. All right, Toad, let's talk a little bit. You know, we're going to get into picks, obviously. That's what we do here. But before we get into it, just a couple of things I want to touch on with this card. The main event. We're not necessarily giving our picks out here, but I've seen, shockingly, to me at least, a lot of people go in the side of Gregory Robocop Rodrigues. The odds don't necessarily indicate it, but kind of just give me your thoughts on that. Like, we talked a little bit before this. You seem to think Gregory Rodrigues is pretty goddamn live.
I was kind of giving someone their flowers in the draft sense. Like, yeah, it would be probably a knockout early, catching something, but my official pick isn't Rodrigues at all. No, I'm a big fan of Hernandez. I think his grappling upside is still enough to make him a champion, if not the contender of the division still. It's just he's nasty with it. He's not one of those nerds that shoots for takedowns. He actually hurts people a lot and sets up these like front take, chokes and shit. So I'm a big Fluffy fan, but it's an interesting matchup given the fact that Rodrigues doesn't throw light. He has the capability of catching, and hurting a lot of guys in the division. Fluffy is very tough. He's gamed with a lot of tough opponents, and Gregory isn't out of the question in the sense of hitting that shot. I just don't think that he does. And so I go Hernandez, but yeah, it's more of I'll say this is how I feel about this week. It's more of a talking point of a main event, not just this. People were trying to do that shit with me with Ian Gary. No, I didn't really quite feel it. I was pretty convinced Islam would win, right? So this is more of a, hey, we got a really nice main event on our hands, and I'm a fan of both fighters, so I probably have a lot more respect for Robocop than some, but not to Hernandez's level, unfortunately for him. He will lose this fight.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm on the same side. We're obviously going to get into like more of a breakdown on the main event when we get there going through the card. But I do just want to say a couple of quick disclaimers, right? With Anthony Hernandez, I feel like a lot of people are on that, like, what have you done for me lately kind of thing, right? If we look back 6 months ago before the Sean Strickland fight, everyone was making Anthony Hernandez out to be the boogeyman of the division. Remember, he was going to beat Khamzat Chimaev. He was the one that had the grappling to do it. You get fucked up by Sean Strickland, who's the current world champion, and all of a sudden everyone thinks he's losing a Robocop, right? So there is that. The second thing I will say, I do agree with you. This is definitely more – the word competitive is difficult, right? Because I thought Ian Gary had no chance last week. Islam did win the fight, so I was proven right in that sense. I'm picking Anthony Hernandez in this one, but Gregory Robocop Rodrigues, the danger is definitely there early. So this like popular narrative that everybody's fucking spitting is true. It's Robocop is dangerous as fuck early. The later we get, the better it is for Fluffy. So we're going to get into all that, but I just want to say, guys, if you're not confident or comfortable in it when it comes to the bets, you don't have to bet the main event. I know everybody wants to bet the main event because it's like the fucking, the thing to do. There's a lot of money to be made earlier on in this card. So like if you're not comfortable, and I'll always be fully transparent with you guys where my confidence lies. Yes, we did go perfect 2 out of 4 cards. That was amazing. You're never going to go fucking perfect. It's super rare. So just pick and choose your spots. You don't ever have to go like full fucking card parlay. That shit doesn't happen. But going to the chat, Toad. Cody says, sub, what up, brother? I'm worried about Hernandez getting caught in a sub. It has happened before. We'll talk about it, my boy. Persian, brand risk card is more entertaining, sadly. King Michael, let's go. Pavel back in here. Hernandez has only been subbed by a Brazilian. Are you concerned that Hernandez practicing with Robocop that he's going to decide to strike? What do you make of this, Toad?
I think that it's in his nature that he's still going to mix it. I can't imagine the game plan with Hernandez is to do it any different than all your other opponents. He pressures. He's a pressure fighter. That's why he was being, compared to Merab a bit in the way that he fights. He's going to come forward. He's going to be really tight, working off a side, feeding shots. And that's the thing is Hernandez does have these nice looping follow-up shots. I don't see – he's the kind of guy that's not in here to play the politic game, the political game of who's at my gym and who's not. He's really just a grit fucking dude. He's pretty raw. And I see Hernandez just fighting his same fight regardless of who his opponent is. He has very clear intentions of wanting to go back and run for the belt. He's not talking about winning a fight. He's talking about accomplishing a goal. And I can get behind a guy like Hernandez, who was streaking very well heading that way until he lost against still one of the best resumes at middleweight, right? Strickland is an incredible MMA guy to lose to. Simply put, his middleweight career is phenomenal. And sometimes when he's on, that's all it takes. You know, there's obviously holes there, but I will say Hernandez should be the more confident pick, probably, surprisingly, this week. Ever so slightly, is it? You know, for me, I think of this more like on the verge of 60-70 Hernandez, 30 Robocop in respects. So
yeah,
that's kind of how I feel. But
I'll say this: as far as training with Sean Strickland, there's two ways to look at it, right? Number one is just like, oh, you're training with the guy that beat you, that's bitch made, that's whatever. You can also look at it from the sense of like, that guy beat me. He clearly did something better than me. He found some holes in my game. Let me go work on those. Let me go train on those. Like having that humility, being humble enough, being a man enough to go in there with a guy that whooped your ass, right? And just fucking work with the dude. I rate that kind of highly for Fluffy. He is a specialist, and it's weird to find specialists these days, but I'm glad that he actually did that. Anyways, the ENG, yeah, I'm avoiding the main event too. I think the under is the best player in RoboCop. Can't see a 5-round decision here. I agree. I don't think this goes the distance. I'm actually pretty confident in Rodrigues, not going to lie. Hernandez is going to win and don't like it either. All right, boys, got a new pick, and I'm coming. There goes Chunda. He'll be in here soon. And we got not Patrick Blaze. What is the pick, guys? We're both going Hernandez in the main event.
Yep.
But we're about to
for
start.
the main, yeah.
Yeah, we're about to start the full card here in a couple of minutes. We're just waiting on Chunda to join up. Shit. So I'm fairly confident. A couple of underdogs on this card, Toad, I guess, till this guy gets here, that a lot of people are very confident in. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of swaying, right? Like and I'm trying to find it on my list here. Shamil Gaziev, Kennedy, and Zechiku, right? I was looking at this fight, and I feel like everybody's going with Kennedy. And if you know anything about me, I'm a huge Kennedy fan. I've always been a fan of Kennedy.
Yeah.
He's plus 105 right here, and I was picking him, and I still may be picking him, but I don't know, man. Like, he's got one of the weirdest chins in the game. We've seen Kennedy get knocked out by a shot to the fucking guard, if you remember. So what do you think all the hype about Kennedy is? Why is everyone picking him, but he's still an underdog?
I still think it's one of those things that he finds himself up against a proper blob of a heavyweight, and the fact that he's always had success with his striking more so at range. You have a guy that is very capable of closing that gap and getting him in these positions where he can't really open up. And then if you're introducing the striking and the wrestling, you know, while clinched up and against the cage and winning moments in the fight, Gaziev is a pretty respectful pick in that way. So it's not a high confidence pick. I think it would be crazy to hear it one way high confidence versus the other, because if you also look, he's been knocked out in all these fights. And when Kennedy's winning a lot of his fights, again, he's finding that range. He's getting those kicks in, which are a big part of this fight for him, is keeping that, you know, working off the back foot and finding those kicks to establish that down the middle. But, dude, Shamil, kind of a bit of a pumpkin head. It's going to take a few of these fucking kicks. It's going to take a few of these punches. He's still a light heavyweight making that transition. And I think that maybe he's going to have better output on some of his opponents. But to sit there and act like he's going to hit all these one-hitter quitters, I think we're going to see that start to fade. And as that does, this is an opponent that, am I high confident that he hits it with conviction early? No, I'm not. But Kennedy is ever so slightly the pick. But I'd put caution next to that fight all day. So
big time. And we're definitely going to talk about that one a lot. Johnny Blaze says Robocop is a BJJ champ, and that is something we definitely needed to touch on when we get to the main event. I would be intrigued if he tries to take Fluffy down. Just quick opinion on that. Johnny, I don't think so, man. I really don't think so, because what we know about Fluffy is that his cardio is fucking unbelievable, and we've seen Robocop fade in 3-rounders. I doubt he's going to want to play that game, because if he does get a takedown, or even if he fails a couple of takedowns early, that's going to sap his fucking tank, and then Fluffy runs away with it. So I don't see it, but, you know, it is there, I guess. I mean, like, if we get to the ground, there's danger. Let's put it that way. I mean, your predictions make it feel like you have a crystal ball or some shit. Lock in, boys, 13 for 13. We're trying, brother. Every fucking week we try for you guys, and if we don't do it, just don't fucking leave. You know what I mean, Raza? Like, come on now. Dr. Carl Troz, what do you guys think of the De Ridder Douglas parlay? Think it smacks. They're both quitters, so I wonder if I'll get cooked for trusting them. Toad, I'll let you take this one. Toad is the betting guy, guys, right? We be doing the picks. Toad is up how many fucking units? If you can give him a quick breakdown on what you think of this parlay. Chunda's in the chat. We're going to bring him in as soon as you're done, Toad. Go for it.
For sure. Yeah, no, last year wasn't anything like groundbreaking to be considered a tyrant in the game, but I still am pushing 100 units almost every year. Last year we did 94. This year we're already pushing 70 during the summer. So last week was a 10-unit card for me. I'm looking forward to this one. There's some good finishing upside, a lot of first-round props as well. De Ridder, Douglas. Douglas actually looking like one of the guys I could believe more early into the fight. I do believe in De Ridder getting it done, but likely having to build into it, and that's because you got to respect Dolidze. Bit of a fucking iron chin as well. Shout out, Dolidze. He had a 7 and 8 leg parlay going into his fight with Marvin Vettori, and I had the same distance parlay to the main event, fired twice, over and under 4.5. So it didn't matter how that fight ensued. I knew that I was walking away with a 60x slip and an 85x slip, and I ended up hitting the 85. So yeah, it's fun. Douglas, I do like. I gave caution to the wind with this, and I'm hedging with Emmers in the early round knockouts because he is live too. It's going to be a gunfight, and the gunslinger is going to be my official pick. But it's another one of those things where, dude, given the style of everything, we saw it last week with Wells. I threw caution to the wind. I got laughed at. Wells opened up, had some nice striking early that respected the grappling, and he cinched up a submission that he had practiced. And I didn't have the submission, but I definitely had some money on Wells to hedge and return some. Orabai parlays faded. His values were pretty shit minus his submission, in my opinion. But yeah. Anyways,
we're gonna get into
this is live. I think this is live here. De Ridder and Douglas are two great picks, but I don't know if Douglas is worth chalking per se, given some of the other props on the card. Douglas is a 3-1 respected favorite, so the props aren't just like amazing in my opinion.
And we're gonna definitely drop some bets while we're going through the card. I'm gonna catch up really fast, and then we're bringing Chunda in. MMA Now in the chat. Hope all is well. All is well, brother. Everyone go check out MMA Now 27, an OG of the game. Real Showbiz. Asked, does Toad have a YouTube channel? MMA Toad.
I do. I've been kind of in and out in the game. I've had some collaborative things I've kind of fallen through, and I'm just like, that's too bad. I try to do my own pick sheets, but generally I'm hopping on shows like Fight Fiend Forecast as of late, and obviously here now 10-7. Prior to Fight Fiend Forecast, I was a part of this show for some of the pre-shows as we talked on the opener. There just wasn't any, and I was live to myself hoping we'd have people come in talking about fights. I found all the croaking across the pond over in Chicago, and that's where I joined in. So love to be love to be here, and I love the collaborations as a whole. Sharp minds, good team, good vibes. Wouldn't be anywhere else. So thanks again for having me, man.
Yo, Toad, did the stream go down for you guys, or what's up? Everyone's saying the stream is down? Or Toronto saying the stream is down? I don't think it's down.
Time's ticking live. Someone might have like some personal connection issues, maybe. But yeah, show's live. I hear you fine. I hear everyone else fine.
There you go. Best betting platform. Whatever the fuck works in your area, Adam. Whatever's giving you the best odds. Nice, bro. Sounds solid. My hedges. Emmers over 1.5. Dolidze over 1.5. Got them hedged with the Hernandez fight. Tehran says, what the hell happened to the stream? I don't know, brother. He said it went down for a minute. Vex says, still working for me. No, we good. It went down for a minute.
Nice.
All right, guys. Now we got to introduce somebody to the channel, okay? And this isn't necessarily an introduction because this guy, this man has been here a bunch of times on the pre-show. God damn it, he's been on almost every pre-show that we've ever had. But you guys knew him as I might be wrong. It's 2026. He's changed his identity. So, and we can't judge him for that, right? We're very inclusive here at the 10-7 MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing for the first time as himself, as his new name, Chunda MMA. Chunda, what's up, brother?
What's up? My picture doesn't fit in the frame. That's great.
It doesn't fit in the fucking frame, dude.
Hold on. I have another one.
Okay.
Hold on. But anyway, I was trapped in a Bali prison. I had to change my identity. That's just the way it goes.
Damn, so you were in Bali. DS is in the fucking Mexican prison. Okay, Dr. Doom. I fuck with it. I can see the nose. Either way. What's up, Chunda? Why the name change?
Like I said, Bali prison. Tax money, tax evasion, all that shit.
Hell yeah.
Just fucking taking it easy, you know. Shut
Hey,
MF down.
I respect it, man. I respect it. All right. Either way, guys, we're not here to talk about Chunda's fucking identity crisis. We're here to talk about this card, UFC Sacramento, where of course it is Fluffy Hernandez, Robocop Rodrigues. We're trying to stay hot as fuck as we normally do. I think we've missed like 6 fights in the last month on this channel. So I'm hoping that we can fucking continue that. This does seem trap laden, this card, but we're going to fucking go through it. I think there are some good spots, some good risks to be taking on this one. You boys ready?
Yeah. I'm very fucking hyped for this.
Let's fucking go. And guys,
and what's up, Chunder, man? Good seeing you again, buddy.
What's up, brother? Always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the chat, if you guys want to talk about these fights, I'd love to hear your fucking opinions on them. Before we get into it, please thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. You can also follow us on Instagram at the107MMA, where we are trying to get to 6,000. We're this fucking close. So help us get there. You know, help your boys out. We're trying to get to 3K on YouTube. All right, let's go. First fight of the night. And it is the ladies, right? We don't start with the boys. We start with the ladies. I always caution the first fight of the night as some fuck shit happening because it tends to happen that way. But you wouldn't think so with the odds being the way they are. We've got Chanel Dyer, and she has taken on Elise Reed. I'm going to give the floor to MMA Toad. We're going to go to Chunda. I'll go last. Go for it, Toad.
Yeah. I like this opening fight. You know, I think Dyer has some tread in front of her yet that I expect to be a little bit tougher matchups. I've only been cautioned with a decode from Fight Fiend Forecast, which is a fun thing he does every week, that there's a really strong code for Reed, but I've also pointed out to him in the past, sometimes some of your best codes are actually, you should have been more confident the other way, right? So Dyer was the pick, high community upside there. The question really for me was decision or knockout. I do respect that Reed does actually sometimes hold herself in these sequences when these girls are putting pressure on her. I'm expecting Dyer to come forward and find it. I just wasn't sure if it was, you know, going to be a second or third, maybe. I don't know if it happens right away. Historically, Dyer's gotten a lot of these first round knockouts, but maybe in respects to Reed, we see it come 2 or 3. But to hear Reed winning this fight, now is your chance to bark, because I don't see it happening for her this week. Sorry.
So you're going Chanel Dyer. What's the method, Toad?
I'm going to go second round knockout officially.
But and then Migs Monster, do you have a picture of your picks up anywhere? They are going to be posted as soon as the show. We're going through it now. We're going to post a picture on our Instagram story as soon as the show is done. But yeah, for right now, we're just going through them. The ENG says round 2 to start. Any thoughts? We're going to get into that in 1 second. Let me give the floor to Chunda.
All right, I fixed my picture, so hopefully it's cool now.
Okay.
But I completely agree with Todd. Second round knockout for Chanel Dyer is what I think, but honestly, I wouldn't say a specific round because Chanel Dyer could get this done at any point in the fight. So I wouldn't put everything on the second round.
How sharp are these predictions? If I'm giving you my method, I like to give a round as well, not a decision. So I could
don't like
Chanel Dyer knockout, of course, is the pick then. But if
Yeah.
we're gonna get to specifics, I think it builds into round 2.
Yeah, honestly, if there was a round I would pick, it'd probably be round 2.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't advise just specifically round 2 because it's just
I'm not giving a bet. I'm not.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, fair enough then. But I think knockout. What's the odds on knockout for Chanel Dyer?
Chanel Dyer knockout is plus 100.
Shit, yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I agree with that. So Chanel Dyer knockout. I think if it was to be around, it'd probably be round 2.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well, look, I mean, I'm not doing anything fucking groundbreaking. Last week, we got absolutely fucked on the first fight of the night, right? Miktabek Orolbai versus Jeremiah Wells, I believe. Got absolutely screwed on it. That killed everybody in the whole goddamn community. One of only 3 fights we ended up getting wrong. But, you can't make that pick, right? And I want people to understand this. There was danger in Jeremiah Wells. We could all see it, but nobody could make that pick. I don't even see the fucking danger in Elise Reed. I'll be honest with you. So, I mean, I'm very confident in Chanel Dyer. I think she's explosive. I think she's a real prospect for this division. I'm also going knockout. If I have to pick a round, I'll say round 3. If you're going to make any fucking bets, I think knockout, Chanel Dyer by knockout or decision is a good, safe play if you want to do it that way, if you're parlaying it. But Chanel Dyer is easily the fucking pick. We go to this screen. Wait, that's not the screen. We want to do this one. There we go. So that's the pick for that one. Go into the chat for a second. Or round 2 to start or fight to end at distance. I mean, yeah, that's what I'd be playing. Chanel Dyer by knockout or decision, right? You guys don't see a submission anywhere?
Yeah,
No,
I
I
don't
don't
see
see
the
it.
submission happening, no. Knockout decision.
But Fight Feed in the chat. Guys, go fucking check out Fight Feed, an awesome content creator, constantly going live, constantly making some great fucking videos. I watched your video last night, Fight Feed, about the what the fuck is it? About Dana White's like money breakdown with the Contender Series, guys. Great shit. So everyone go show Fight Feed some love. A former Chicago boy himself. Now he's out in Arizona. Oh shit, it's Chunda. It is Chunda. Young or Dorsonville. We're about to get there, and I might throw you the fuck off. My guy Fight Feed says, thank you. I appreciate you, my boy. I always appreciate you dropping in. Anytime you want in, you let me know, and we'll send you the link. The ENG says round 2 to start pretty confident. How do you guys feel about that?
I'd stay away from start the round 2 because Dyer historically has a lot more first round knockouts than ever. It's just this thing as you build into higher competition, you start to find more second 2s and more second 3s. So no, stay away from round 1 specific or round 2 specifics this week. I come from doing just a draft a minute ago, and I like to give very specific breakdowns. So mine was a second round knockout, but I'm not betting a round specific for her.
Boom. Chunder, any thoughts on it?
You know, I would avoid that because, like, honestly, the way this matchup is like made, it feels like it's made for a highlight reel for Chanel Dyer and a good, like, a bang to the card, like a great start to the card. So I think the possibility of a round 1 finish is very high.
But then also you gotta consider it's ladies, it's women's MMA, right? And historically, even though it's a slightly lower number, it is a lower number on finishes. So always be wary of women with finishes. I know that sounds like sexist. It's not, I promise you. Yes, sir, says Fight Feed. Fuck yeah. So we're all on the Chanel Dyer by finish side there officially. This fight, I'm sure, is going to have some people split in the chat. It is Jackson McVeigh versus Wes Schultz, two dudes with just fucking gorgeous locks, just unbelievably good hair genetics, and I'm jealous of that. Look at this shit. I'm jealous, dude. I got fucking nothing going on up top. That's fucked up. These guys took all the goddamn hair. Jackson McVeigh, Wes Schultz. I'm going to give the floor to Toad. Go for it, my boy.
Yeah, I was kind of jealous that I cut my Diego Lopez fucking floop in the back so many, like a year ago or so. Not even, I miss it. And this fight was one of those, like the Spider-Man little weigh-in gig. That was funny. The way this one ensues and the way it's expected for me, and Tapology reflects this. Jackson has a good striking upside against Wes Schultz, who has a great grappling upside, sure, but McVeigh's live there too. I'm a huge believer in club and sub. The only worry I have with Jackson is sometimes as he lets go, he loses position a little bit. He does open himself up, and that's where someone crafty like Schultz could find his way. But more than anything, I expect McVeigh to hit the shot and maybe even find himself counter grappling the efforts of Schultz to keep it on the feet, keep it standing, because I just don't see a way for Schultz on the feet to get it done. So fight by finish is a pretty good prop this week. If you can eliminate the round to get better value, it's what I did. I have this fight not to start round 3, and I expect McVeigh gets it done inside the distance. By finish is the safest way to say it, but I believe it's a knockout.
Boom. Love it. Chanda.
All right, so this fight is weird to me because Jackson McVeigh is very underrated to me, but Wes Schultz is the type of guy to just throw up a twister or like a Suleiman stretch, or something weird like that. And I fully expect Jackson McVeigh to beat him up on the feet. I truly believe he's way better on the feet than Wes Schultz. Wes Schultz will probably do some spinning shit and get clipped. Mm-hmm. But if it does get to the ground, there's a high chance Wes Schultz throws some bullshit up and gets a fluky one.
Yeah, so, like a off the back submission, like a triangle, like you're saying. Yeah.
So I would agree, like, fighting not start round 3. I would 100% do that. But my official pick is Jackson McVeigh by knockout, rounds 1 or 2. But, just fight not to go the distance is pretty, like, a solid one.
Big fucking facts. And hear me out when I say this, right? Wes Schultz is fucking terrible on the feet. Like, he is awful. Not only is he not UFC level on the feet, he is not PFL level. He is not LFA level. He is not CFFC level. Like, this motherfucker is a miserable, miserable striker. There is zero danger in Wes Schultz's hands. The danger with Wes Schultz, obviously, is in the submission skills, where Jackson McVeigh is pretty okay, right? He's a solid submission artist himself. Jackson McVeigh, guys, for those of you that don't know, is one of those guys that comes out there fucking bat out of hell. He's immediately looking for the finish. Every single one of his professional wins, which is 7 of them, are all first round finishes, okay? And then every time he's gone to that fucking second round, which has only literally been once, he lost that fucking fight, okay? So that's Jackson McVeigh. We expect him to gas out if he doesn't get the finish early. I think he does get the finish early. So the official pick is Jackson McVeigh round 1 TKO. I think he drops Wes Schultz, hurts him like early, finishes him up against the cage. But I did say this on the Wednesday show, and I'm going to say this again, okay? This is one of those opportunities where live betting is a very high possibility. Because think about it. If Jackson McVeigh goes out there the way we expect him to, he's going to beat the dog shit out of Wes Schultz in this first round. If it doesn't end in that first round, he wins the round. There is no way he loses the first round unless he loses the fight, right? So these odds are going to swell even more. At that point, I'm sprinkling on Wes Schultz because he's going to be a massive underdog. And we don't know Jackson McVeigh's cardio. I mean, we know it's not great, but we don't know what he's going to look like. We don't know what his submission skills are going to look like. His grappling is going to look like as he's tired. So if this gets to round 2, sprinkle on Wes Schultz is what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm fairly confident in Jackson McVeigh finishing this fight early. I will say, disclaimer, these guys are both pretty dog shit. Pretty dog shit fighters, pretty low-level fight. So just be careful. Don't be dropping your fucking money if you don't, got it like that.
I believe in them being fucking clumsy together in a finish happening some way or another, but it's going to look like clown shoes, as I warned with McVeigh as he opens up and lets go. It's like fucking battle draft mode sometimes, and it makes me worried he could slip on a banana peel, and Wes Schultz is just choking the shit out of him. So however it happens, sure, I agree. It's got to be an early finish, but
big facts. Migs in the chat. My bad, guys. Didn't catch y'all's picks about young Dorsonville. We're about to get to it in a second here, Migs. Vex says the new I might be wrong profile picture goes hard. That's chunder to you, Vex, says Ethan Ewing Glazer. Fight feedback in the chat. All due respect, I cannot fight, but I favor my striking over Wes Schultz. And that's what the fuck I'm saying. If you've taken like one cardio kickboxing class and you played any kind of sport growing up that involves your hands, you're probably a better striker, right?
Yeah.
Like if you played baseball, you're way better with the hands. Played football, you're probably better with the hands. He's got no fucking hands. It's crazy. We're sprinkling on the dog on this one. Whoa,
wrestling. That's a big one.
Still on the Jesus lookalike. So fight to finish under 100%. 100%. That.
Yes.
98%. Let's put it that way. I don't want to be that guy. But here we go to the fight that. Who was it? Who wanted to talk about this? Where are we at? It was Migs wanted to talk about it. So Young and Dorsonville. We've got Gage Young taking on the debutant Stanley Dorsonville on somewhat of a short notice. I'm going to give the floor to MMA Toad, Gage Young, Stanley Dorson.
Yeah. I'll be honest, guys. I originally opened with Young, and then as throughout the week, as I had more time to just go back, check some fights, I actually started being a little hesitant with my pick. And then the ceremonial was kind of the thing that solidified it. I do think that in this fight, Stan, it should be a good close fight overall, but I think Stan walks away with it. I wasn't confident on the method if it would be like a decision, but from what I'm seeing, he's getting a lot of these guys down early and just choking them out and just fucking drowning them. And I don't know if Young's able to like put up a better fight, but for some reason I just was feeling like we'd see a second, third round. But yeah, nonetheless, this is a pick swap for me. My early picks for the week, I had Young, started watching more on Stan and kind of pumped the brakes. I think this dude's live. Was worried about seeing maybe how he'd show up given the notice and the cut and all that. And no, Stan's here, dude. I think he's going to show up and maybe surprise a lot of people because Young, 70% or so on Tapology believe in Young getting this one done. So just another fight I'd be a little cautious of overall, but ever so slightly, I'm gonna fade Young. I don't think he's bulletproof in what I've seen in his 11-3 professional career. He is a go-getter. He's gonna march forward, but I don't have enough belief in him this week against the threat that's gonna come from what we're gonna see. I think this fight does go to the ground a bit, and we could see a sub or a finish, but we'll have to see if it's late or not. Like I said, he's gotten a lot of them in the first.
There it is. So you're going Stan Dorsonville by finish, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Chunda.
This is gonna sound super mean, and I'm sorry in advance, but I had this whole fucking thing rehearsed in my head.
Okay.
I think this is gonna be a Gage Young first or second round knockout.
Okay.
I watched Stan Dorsonville's last 2 fights, and I even looked through the records of the guys he was fighting. He fought a 4-0 guy, but that 4-0 guy had 3 fights flagged for issues with legitimacy. So I just can't trust that. He looks very good with wrestling, but I think on the feet, I think Gage Young pieces him up, and I think he TKOs him in the first or second.
Okay. So you're going Gage Young early knockout. I'm going to say this, man. I watched a lot of film on both of these guys, all right? When it comes to Gage Young, what I noticed is, yes, he's good on the feet, right? He's touching everybody up, but he's a volume guy. Like, there's no real power. He dropped Thiago Moises in the 3rd round of that fight, ended up winning a split decision. But everything is thrown in, like, right here, right? It's very awkward. It's just hands. It's not body. He's not going body with the hands. Everything's just kind of arms only. And I don't really fucking rate that highly. He was able to hurt Thiago Moises in that 3rd round. He was cut up and, you know, he caught him behind the ear. And if somebody catches you clean, you're going down. Other than that, though, like, I just don't respect the power really of Gage Young. Yes, he's tough as fuck. Yes, he's gritty. He marches forward. But, like, I'm just not seeing the hype on him. Then you have Stan Dorsonville. And yes, Chunda, the level of competition hasn't been great for this guy, but he's finishing everybody, man. He's long-bodied. He's powerful. He looks decent with the striking. He looks like he can lock up submissions at any time. He is also very reckless and hittable, so maybe he does get pieced up and the volume of Gage Young starts kind of fucking affecting him. But I like taking a stab here on Stanley Dorsonville, and I think I'm going to stick with that. You know, this one might come back to bite me in the ass, but both guys are hittable, and I do think Stan Dorsonville has more power. I think he has more submission threat. So, like, really, why not take the chance on the fucking dog here? Stan Dorsonville doesn't seem to have a bad tank. Gage Young was kind of slowing down, even though he did get Thiago hurt in that 3rd round. It's a weird one. I see somebody asking the ENG, avoid them, probably avoid them, but I'm going to go with the upset. Give me Stanley Dorsonville. I'm going to go decision. I think it's worth taking a little shot on that. Ethan Ewing Glazer in the chat. Schultz has never touched a boxing glove. That's 100%. Should I keep this off most parlays? I would, personally. Gage Young is a good fighter, in my opinion. He gave tough fights to Evan Elder on short notice. Also, Sal killed on Dana White's Contender Series. He's a gritty Midwestern dude. But how far does that get you, Fight Feed? Right? Like, we talk about this a lot on this channel. When you start breaking down a fighter, and I want you guys to really take this in, and you know, like, things start popping out at you, right? When you're watching tape, it's like, fuck, that's good boxing, man. He's got really crispy boxing. His entries on the takedowns are really good. This guy's footwork stands out. What stands out about Gage Young? It's the grit. And it's like, if the thing that I'm fucking noticing about you is like, oh, this guy's gritty. There's a guy higher on this card, which is like the definition of grit and dog, and we're going to get to him in a couple minutes. But with Gage Young, it's like, those guys are capped. Because the boxing isn't all that fucking good. The power isn't all that good. The wrestling isn't all that good. He's just kind of over-manning these people. Eventually, that shit fucking stops. Stanley Dorsonville is a powerful guy, and that's why I'm fucking sticking with him. But we'll see, man. This one's tough. Back to the chat. Schultz and McVeigh look like brothers and Jesus. That's a little sacrilegious, Larissa. But I see where you're coming from. True for me. It is enough to win over Stan, but we're going to find out Saturday night. We're going to find out.
We're going to find out Saturday night.
There it is. Love that. So that's the first time we're split on this card, but me and Toad are still together. Chunda, you decided to fucking veer away from us, and that's okay. Again, yeah. you have the right to do that. I guarantee we won't split on this one. Toad, I'm going to give you the fucking floor. It is Marcio Barbosa, and he's taking on debutant Ryan Cuse.
It's going to be Barbosa via Bazooka. This guy, 1st round knockout, one of my props for the week. It does require some chalk, as you can imagine. There's a negative value behind the fact that so many people have rushed to their bookies to hand over their hard-earned money. And it's because we believe this guy really does have some power that, hate to say it, you don't really find as much at this weight class at this level until they get catapulted up right away. and they're fighting at Noche, and they're fighting like the best guys like Diego Lopez, Gene Silvas, etc. Josh Emmett's, like they're up there. But at this level, it just feels like who wants to be the sacrificial lamb? This guy knows what the fuck he's doing. Marcio Barbosa is a true technician with his hands. He's going to be a surgeon out there and rip somebody apart in the first round. I can't say it enough. This is one of my highest, I believe in this shits on the whole card next to Went, which we'll get to. He gets it done via knockout one way or the other. Maybe not the first for sure, but I believe in it. And I bet it. So,
hell yeah. Chunda, Marcio Barbosa, Ryan Cuse.
I'm going Ryan Cuse, and I'm just kidding. Mauricio Barbosa, I've scouted him from the beginning, before the Bazooka fight, or not before the Bazooka fight, like right before, like literally the day before. Okay. But this motherfucker will be top 5. I swear to God. And the thing is, he's gonna get fluked along the way. Someone that he should beat is going to beat him, but then he's going to bounce back. He's kill or be killed, and he protects himself well. This fight might be tough for him because it's someone who's never been knocked out, but I believe he will find the button. Oh, yeah. 3rd or 4th minute of round 1. Mauricio Barbosa.
Okay. I mean, nothing fucking groundbreaking, right? I'm obviously going with Mauricio Barbosa. I'm also going first round knockout, and I do believe I'm with Toad. I think this is the easiest pick of the night. I will say this, though, when it comes to betting wise, right, what I like to do, and I'm just giving you a little insight on what I do in these situations. You look at the round 1 knockout prop, and it's minus 160. Toad, you were alluding to it being chalky, right?
Yeah.
What I like to do in these instances, like if you're going to parlay it and do your shit, fine, parlay it, do your thing. I like to fuck around on these, and instead, like, let's say you're a $20 better, just for the sake of this fucking, for this argument. That's your unit size. What I'll normally do is if I'm going to parlay it, I'll throw it in whatever parlays I want. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go like half or quarter units on the 2nd and 3rd round knockout because they pay like crazy.
Yes,
so let's
they
say he's beating the shit out of Ryan Cuse, right? But Ryan Cuse turns out to be a little tougher than we didn't. And then you have Barbosa on round 2 knockout. That's plus 500. That's 5-1. Round 3 is plus 1,200. So just know that that's kind of where your lotto plays start fucking working out for you, is in those later round props. I once hit Shavkat round 3 submission on Jeff Neal. That shit paid like fucking crazy. So yes, the pick is Marcio Barbosa knockout round 1. Betting wise, you could probably do them by knockout. If you're gonna sprinkle and fuck around, rounds 2 and 3 ain't bad plays at all.
No, not a bad hedge either. I'm a big believer in hedging, right? But yeah, the first round is the expected outcome. When you start to get plus 500, 1,200, they're definitely worth sprinkles, but something minor, right? And that's just more so like some insurance you could consider. The ones I'm confident in that have high values are the ones that blow my mind. I wouldn't have achieved my 10 units last week if I didn't have Charles Johnson 3rd round submission, 50-1 odds. Thank you very much. We hit that. I wouldn't have this if it wasn't for plus 1,200 Neil Magny round 2. Submission or knockout covered right there, by the way. Thank you very much. So, and also being a dog. So the round values do have incredible merit, but typically as you expand further, the props only come up, right? There's certain guys I like to fade that with, and guys who build into fights. Unfortunately, the sweat here for those round 2 and 3 rounds is just that Barbosa is very deliberate, and as a first round go-getter, like he doesn't not get it done typically here in the first 5 minutes. So we'll see. It would be impressive to see another second round. He's had some second round fights. Those happen to be also the same fights he's lost. So again, a little bit of a pattern there. Last week Remise hits all these first round submissions and Neil Magny's getting choked, and I'm like, yeah, but Neil loves to pick up fucking shit in the 2nd and 3rd round and dunk these guys, and well, toe to toe. So this could be another one of those, like, yeah, not expecting to see the 2nd round, but if you do, hold my fucking beer. This guy doesn't normally go there.
No, 100%, man. I think it's worth it. And again, with these kind of guys, you never really fucking know, right? What if he, again, beating Ryan Cuse's ass, and then you start noticing Ryan Cuse didn't get out of there. Barbosa starts to look tired 4.5 minutes in. Live bet opportunity if you want to fuck around and throw, like I said, if you're a $20 better, throw $3 on Ryan Cuse at that point, who's going to be a plus 1,200, right? So just play smart is the whole fucking point. The ENG in the chat says KO or TKO round 1 by Barbosa. Your confidence, Toad?
Yeah, very confident. It's one of my props of the week. Round 1
Chunda?
Barbosa.
Honestly, not probably 100% confident because I believe Q's is a tough son of a gun. But I'd say I'd choose Barbosa round 1 KO, but could be very start of round 2.
Okay, and then Fight Feed says, I would love to hear Chunda react to my message above, so we go to it. Barbosa is a future champ if they keep him away from Tommy Gunn. Chunda.
Oh, he fucking knocks Tommy the fuck out. Holy fuck. Not even a
Are
joke.
you Tommy fans before you go on this little tangent?
He got me some great views on Instagram, but besides that, I don't give a fuck.
Okay. When
Barbosa.
your boy stops getting favorable matchups, we'll see how he is. We'll see how he is when he stops getting chinny people, okay?
We're going to find out Saturday night.
We're going to find out Saturday night.
Tyler Betts in the chat. Yo. And he says, damn, that energy play was dope, Toad. Crazy odds. And that's what the fuck Toad does. That's
baby. Cool. I'm a value guy, too, in a sense. Unless there's some chalk I'm getting behind. I don't normally chalk. I'm normally value. Comboing Charles 2 and 3, Neil Magny 2 and 3. I've made so many MMA dollars that have achieved my personal milestones thanks to fighters like that. So can't help but love it. You know, I got Neil Magny, member of the Mud Hut. Would love to get energy in there. I know you guys have that history. Let him know Mud Hut's going to throw out a fishing line for him and have him tap in with the boys. Because I've always been a fan of energy, and I just like that he's live. You can't take a guy like him and count him out of a fight late, middle, start. He comes after it. Some fights obviously better than others, right? But overall, he's achieved quite a bit, and I'll always back energy. So good love.
Shout out Energy, friend of the channel. I spoke to him like 2 weeks ago, and he said he was down to do something again. So I'll shoot that invite, Toad.
I love that, man. That'd be sweet.
And then peep this. What a great transition you just fucking had. Because speaking of friends of the channel, we got the newest friend of the channel here at the 10-7 MMA, Chris Taco Padilla. We did an interview with him earlier this week. If y'all want to check that out afterwards, by all means, go do that. Anything you do here, press the little fucking thumbs up and the subscribe button. It helps the algorithm. It helps you boys out. We got dreams we're trying to fucking achieve, okay? So
I'm doing it right now. Fuck yeah.
There we go. Nasrat Haqparast taking on Taco Padilla. Toad, I'm going to give you the floor. I keep pressing the wrong button, but there you are. This one down.
You're good, bro. No, big fan of Taco. I remember when he made his UFC entrance. Was just kind of curious to know more about the guy. Shout out just as a fight fan. He responded very quickly, very cool. Nothing's changed about this guy. People love this guy. He's going to be one of the biggest celebrities on that card, given the star power in terms of, hey, there's a fighter the fans can love. And a lot of it's due to his Muay Thai style, the way he comes forward, his elbows, his knees. He's a guy that grits down, throws some fun shit, and gets the crowd kind of oohing and ahhing a bit. But outside the octagon, I've never really met too many people I can say of like truly as chill as Taco Padilla. So obviously the pick this week, I've heard a lot of conversations. Is it going to be a decision? Nasrat's find a way to like be a slippery little fuck in a lot of his fights. I can't believe someone like Esteban, couldn't get, catch him at least one time and hit the button. But he does find his way to a lot of decisions. I really think that we find Taco in his like historic like work. Sorry, I'm on call. My shit's blowing up right now, for fuck's sakes. You fucking idiots. I could see Taco hitting a nice sequence off to the side, feeding those looping shots. He's a fucking pit bull. He gets these guys kind of tattered, battered, and that's where you find the submission game come into effect, where he's flattening guys out and just beating the shit out of them and taking their necks. I do see a TKO finish potentially, but I'm going to respect that. Nasrat's been through some wars, been through some pretty tough guys as well, and Taco finds himself better damage, better output. And yeah, I'm expecting some of that control time too as he's feeding that shit through. So give me Taco via decision as an official pick, but man, I'm not confident that it's not a finish either, given the fact that he is throwing elbows. He's throwing nasty fucking kicks, his knees. Nasrat could get out of there any moment of the fight just due to how Taco fights. So I respect him for that.
There we go. Shout out Taco.
Yep.
Chunda. I might be formerly known as I Might Be Wrong.
All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Chris Padilla in this fight. I just feel like he's severely underrated. But the one thing that worries me, the UFC seems to not like him. Because that Markel Medeiros fight, I swear to God, I thought that was a 30-27 Padilla. And he was going to lose that fight if they didn't take a point away from Medeiros. So, goes to fucking show you. Anyway, I think this is a step down. I don't think Haqparast is as good as Medeiros. Close, but not as good. I think Padilla will volume him. I know Haqparast gets better as the fight goes on, but I just think Padilla's pressure is too much. I think a late TKO for Padilla or 29-28 is my pick.
Okay. Sorry. Give me 1 sec. Boom. We're back on. Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, we did an interview with him this week. I'm going with the boy, and it's not just like, look, I've picked against people we've interviewed, so I don't want people to think I'm being biased at all, right? Realistically, I do believe Taco Padilla beats Nasrat Haqparast. I will say Nasrat Haqparast is a motherfucker to deal with, right? This is a guy with a good record in the UFC, a good winning record in the UFC. You look at his losses, right? And I'm clicking on his Tapology here. It's against high fucking level guys, right? So since he gets in the UFC, loses his debut, whatever, we can kind of skip that one. After that, a bunch of fucking wins, loses to Drew Dober, Dan Hooker, Bobby Green, goes on a massive win streak, and then gets slumped by Killen Salkild. Those are all guys that were at some point or another in the rankings, right? So the way I'm looking at it, do you guys think Taco Padilla is a guy that will get to the rankings? I think this is the fight that gets him to the rankings. If he wins this fight, he fights somebody in that top 15. Taco Padilla, for what it's worth, should be undefeated in the UFC, right? That last fucking decision, super weird situation. I agree with Chunda. I think it was 30-27 for him, but at work, I mean 30-26, right? There was a fucking point taken away. So look, man, I'm gonna pick him here. I will say be cautious because Nasrat has fought really high level competition. He can make this ugly, he can make it dirty, but I do worry about the chin of Nasrat Haqparast getting slumped that fucking badly. I do believe in your chin being broken. I do believe in some hesitancy after getting slumped out cold like that. So I'm going to pick Chris Padilla. I'm going to go decision. I think we can get really scrappy late in this fight and make it fucking interesting. But of course, the pick is going to be Taco. So we're all on the Taco side there. Going to the chat. Fight Feet says, we love energy. We love energy. Taco is one of my faves, man. Love that he also smokes the ganja. Taco Padilla was robbed egregiously, and it is why I want Mason Jones to bring justice to Medeiros. And we're going to talk about that fight in a second here. And speaking of the ganja, there goes Toad. So we're moving on to the big boys, okay, guys? We've got the meal deal, Shamil the Blob Gaziev, and he's taking on my boy Kennedy Nzechukwu. Look, this fight has – I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a big Kennedy fan. Big fucking Kennedy fan. I'm scared. This fight is fucking giving me weird-ass vibes. I'm going to give the floor to Toad. I want you guys to talk me through it and see if someone's going to flip me. But Toad, go for it.
Yeah, so Kennedy, right? You still got a guy who moved up in weight at the end of the day. He was a big light heavyweight. He stacks okay with the heavyweight division still, but he's still one of your cats that is trying to keep that range, trying to tag up that in and out, work off those kicks, lead in with some base striking. I know that the Blob, Gaziev, is one of these guys that he's totally game to cross that void, get into the clinch. And when you start, kind of wrestling around and mixing that striking too, I don't see Kennedy being able to sit here in reverse position and outpower and outsize and outblob these guys. It is a blobby world a bit, and there's a strategy in how it can work. I mean, there's some fighters who've had great careers in achieving this, shout out my boy Tybora, one of the Toads out there. But yeah, at the end of the day, Gaziev is a guy who's finishable. In fact, all of his losses come via being knocked out, basically. And we've seen Kennedy look great when he hits the gas pedal. There's some hesitancy, again, due to the fact he's still moving up, and he's only going to continue to be tests. I mean, one time he showed up for a fight, and the guy knocked him fucking self out because he wanted to jump up and have his knees hit his titties, and he couldn't buckle the landing. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes that shit happens. But I bet you if this one starts, as long as, Gaziev doesn't go through the canvas, if he tried that shit, that pumpkin head's going to take a minute to crack. It's going to be a sequence that's going to take 2, maybe even 3 rounds. So I'm not confident in the fact that, again, he even gets it done. There's still some question marks here, but I am going with Kennedy. But this is like I'm not overly high on the method, the madness, any of that for round specifics this week. So I'm staying away from that. But the fight to end by knockout, probably live, respecting both sides there. But yeah, I'm going to go Kennedy ever so slightly this week.
Love it. Chunder.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kennedy purely because I don't think he's going to look for a knockout right at the beginning. I think he's going to want to tire Shamil out, body jabs. Just keep at the end of his jab, pretty much. And maybe throw a few leg kicks out there. I think once rounds 2 and 3 starts, I think it's Kennedy's world entirely. But round 1, like, at any moment, Shamil can just chin him. But I trust in Kennedy to survive the first round and just kind of point fight him to either 29-28 or knock him out late. That's the way I see this fight.
Yeah, man. Look, this one is amongst the toughest ones on the card for me to pick, right? I'm not even mincing words with this one. I love Kennedy. I see the underdog price. It seems like everybody on the planet is picking Kennedy and Zechiku, and I'm like dead ass 50-50 on this one, right? Shamil Gaziev is not as bad as people are making him out to be. Everyone's making the jokes, the meal deal, the blob, and all this kind of fucking bullshit. And yes, he's been knocked out in 2 in a row. But before that, a first-round knockout of Thomas Peterson. That's not aging terribly. Beat Dontel Mays by decision, whatever. The fight that kind of threw everybody off was the Jairzinho Rosenstrike fight, right? He looked exhausted and gassed the fuck out in round 4. This fight doesn't have 4 rounds, and Jairzinho probably cracks harder than fucking Kennedy does, right? Before that, this guy was undefeated. There's a couple of factors. The power on the Gaziev side, the chin of Kennedy and Zechiku, just like the fact that he's a fucking EV ending, right? Like, realistically, those guys fucking win all their fights. He's Dagestani. So it's a tough one, man. I'm going to stick with Kennedy for the official pick. Everything is telling me to switch to Shamil Gaziev, though. I want to throw this out there. Everything in my fucking heart is telling me to switch to Shamil, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay with Kennedy because of the film. You got to trust what you see. Long-bodied, good power, Shamil gasses. If Kennedy doesn't have one of those weird chin nights, he should win this fucking fight, but Shamil's big and he can fucking crack. So give me Kennedy. I'm staying the fuck away from everything betting-wise on this. The ENG says round 2 to begin. I don't trust it.
Yeah, I'm not trusting round specifics, like I said, on this one at all. Shamil's live to come over the top during one of these kicks, during one of these moments where Kennedy's finally got his measure, finally has his range, has his timing, and goes to land one of his great, sniper shots. You got a dude who's totally capable of coming over the top, hitting the counter, and Kennedy's knocked the fuck out. So stay away from the round props, in my opinion, this week. However, the fight to end by knockout's one I can get behind.
Big fucking facts. We move on to the next fight of the night, and it is the highly, highly, highly touted Larian Douglas. He has taken on Jamal Emmers. Before I give you the floor, Toad, I just want to say this. I said it on Wednesday. I need to throw this out there when it comes to Larian Douglas. This guy has become like the fucking sweetheart prospect of MMA social media. Everyone loves Larian Douglas. They love the power. There's a lot of shit to like about him. I'm telling people, and I'm going to give my pick here in about 2 minutes. I'm telling people, just pump the brakes a little bit. Pump the brakes a little bit. This is a guy with 5 losses outside of the UFC. And yes, I understand that people get better. That's what we're here doing, right? Everyone's trying to fucking consistently get better. But 5 losses outside of the UFC is not a phenomenal fucking track record to have. He's lost in every way possible. He's been knocked out twice. He's been subbed twice. He's gone the distance and lost. And then we haven't really seen much of anything from him. Knocked out Cam Teague. Shout out Cam Teague, but who's not knocking him out? And then, of course, he knocks out Julian Erosa. And Julian Erosa is a fan favorite type of guy. I think that's another guy that people give a lot of credit to. Beat Javier Reyes. So there is some good wins on his record. Just like, let's pump the brakes. I think Luke Riley's a better prospect. Kevin Vallejos is a better prospect in the division. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to fucking say. We're going to give the floor to Toad. Toad, give me your breakdown.
Yeah, I threw a lot of caution out there very beginning of the week as I saw content creators and fellow friends in the space alike all hammering picks of the week and locks of the week and all this shit. And I'm sitting here looking at Emmers like, I know he's a 17-1 dog, right? That's a crazy number, some disrespect. But he's totally live to show up and make this a car crash in the first round. I like Douglas a lot in the sense that he's got a monster jab. He's got something that will sit you on your ass. And Emmers is totally live to walk right into one of those. But at the same time, dude, this is one of those fights where there's still question marks as Douglas is building up his UFC resume and not just his overall fight resume. And as these opponents increase, man, we've had some tough looks prior to the promotion, and I've seen it the other way. People go undefeated, they're being glazed upon, and then finally they get to the UFC and we start getting these losses. So that's where Bam Bam's getting at here. Is just truly do not be overconfident in any fight is a good rule of thumb. That's why it's a fucking fight, ladies and gentlemen. But first and foremost, the gunslinger has some holes that I'm sure he's worked hard to improve and develop and grow. I did ever so slightly as a pick take Douglas this week, so I am hedging against him. I have Emmers as an early knockout in this fight at 17-1 odds as a hedge, but I think Douglas does get it in the first being knockout. So fight to end my knockout early rounds, not a bad look on this one. The bookies don't think it's going to the judges either. So that's this one.
Boom. Chunder, give me your breakdown.
Yeah, honestly, if Jamal Emmers was like 2 years younger, I would think about like maybe picking him. But I just feel like the age is just like wearing him down. He's been knocked out in the first round multiple times. So I'm going to have to go Larian Douglas by round 1 knockout. But I do kind of agree to an extent that he is being a bit overhyped right now. Well, maybe not overhyped, but like just like kill the brakes, you know.
Yeah, you have to, man. Like, look, when it comes down to it, I don't want to be this guy, right? Because there are people that get significantly better as their career progresses. And maybe Larian Douglas is that guy. Maybe he has hit this fucking new level that is what we've seen, which is sliming people the fuck out. And that's cool. Good for him. I hope the fucking best for him, and I hope that's what he becomes for the sake of everybody on MMA social media so they can glaze the guy. Jamal Emmers is a fucking UFC veteran. Like, let's not fuck around. This guy has been in there with some high-level guys. He has a pretty good record. He's 5-4 in the UFC. I mean, he beat Hyder Emil, who, yes, Hyder Emil is kind of shit, but he's dangerous as fuck, right? Beat Gabriel Miranda. Knocked out my boy, Dennis Bazukia. Like, those are solid UFC wins. Split decision in his debut against Giga Chikadze. People want to make fun of what Giga Chikadze is now. That Giga was a completely different Giga Chikadze, right? So, I don't know, man. Like, just pump the brakes a little bit. Yes, I'm going to go with fucking Larian Douglas. I'm not stupid. He's very explosive, stupid power, all these fucking knockout wins. He probably does it again. I'll say round 2, maybe early round 3. I could see this dragging out and being like a little bit of a fucking war, right? Like, if, like you said it, Chunda, if Jamal Emmers wasn't 37 and he was 34, I would heavily be contemplating a massive dog pick here. But I'm going to go Larian Douglas round 2. I think at some point, though, we do see like a real step up in competition where it's not like a middling veteran, let's call it. And then that's the point where, like, I'm going to be very fucking tempted to pick against them. But for right now, Larian Douglas, we're all in agreement by knockout. Larissa says Douglas and Barbosa by KO. How do you feel about that, Toad? You're muted.
Yeah, I'd leave. I like Barbosa by knockout. At the prop value, Douglas isn't a bad one. I'd also look at to see fight to end by knockout because Douglas is so favored for his knockout. The fight to end by a knockout isn't going to be much more trailing. So as a parlay piece, it keeps it more alive because we just gave caution that I think that Emmers, is going to meet him in some kind of car crash here. And I do hedge the other way at 17-1 odds because in 17 fights, Emmers probably does knock him out at least once. That's how that prop works. So when you keep a record on it and you bet it 17 times, it hits, you make money overall. So that's a method of madness of mine. But yeah, I do have Douglas winning this. So probably leave him out, I'd say, honestly, unless you're truly confident Douglas hits it. I'm not with the flock of seagulls this week in the first round knockout prop. It just isn't high enough for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why I'm fucking around this week with a lot of 2s and 3s if I'm going to be sprinkling on the knockouts. I just want to say this, though. I look at Chunder. Obviously, he made the name change, right? It's no longer I Might Be Wrong. It's now Chunder MMA. He's got the new little fucking mascot, Mr. Doom, over there. Is that the same chair that Ian Gary be sitting in, Chunder, or what's up?
It's the same brand, but
Okay.
I didn't get it from him.
Okay, that's fair. Same store you bought it
Support your
from?
local Irish chairmakers.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. How's your wife feel about it?
Listen, yeah,
Okay, no comment. Hey,
no
let's
comment.
let's move on to some fucking big. Anthony Wint, and he is taking on Terrence Chapman. Anthony Wint making his UFC debut on fucking 10 days, 7 days notice, something like that. He fought on week 1 of Dana White's Contender Series, fought in the main event, got a super fast knockout, 20, 30 seconds. He's back in here immediately. This leads a lot of people to believe that the UFC wants to push the fuck out of this guy. This is, who they're trying to make the new Hamzat of the time, the new fucking B. Joe Piper of the time, whatever the fuck it is. A lot of stock being put in Anthony Wint, but it is heavyweights. There's always some danger there. Toad, I'm going to give you the floor. Anthony Wint, Terrence Chapman also making his debut, by the way.
Yeah, Wint's another one of those guys for me. He was one of my other props on the card that I gave out last night with Barbosa, and I have them parlayed together for that matter. He's going to come out. There's just way better guys that awaits him. He does meet this. I'm an athletic heavyweight. I'm explosive. I come forward. Fuck your measure. Fuck your range. Fuck your timing. This isn't building up. It's right here, right now. He comes off the rip. And I think he hits his knockout within the first 3 minutes, actually. This is another, I have conviction in it. Now, I could, with the size upside with Terrence, I could see Wint coming in and literally spearing the guy, getting a takedown, ripping it to the ground, and just following up vicious ground and pound where there's just no saving Terrence. So whether it's on the feet flush or on the ground, that's to be determined. But I do know that Wint gets his hand raised, and yeah, Dana in the UFC, Bazarat wasn't obviously one of the guys that showed up and had like the craziest. I came from Contenders and shot on this card. The story with him and Hamza is what made that so cool, right? But no, Wentz one of those guys. I think they have intentions, and the quick, easy first round, pretty clean, pretty painless, because they're going to throw him on another card here in another 3-4 months, I bet, and get him another look. This is a guy you can look forward to seeing fight, and I'm going to call it out. Would love to see him work his way up and fight Hokit. Would love to see two football motherfuckers duke it out and just being, they only know the gas pedal. They don't know brakes. Like, you don't teach that in football. You teach fucking gas pedal, majority of the positions and shit. So, yeah, here it is. First round.
Play through the fucking whistle, Toad. You play through the fucking whistle.
Yes, you do.
Chunder.
Yeah, honestly, Anthony Wint is one of those guys. I said it in my kind of pick stream for the Contender Series. He's good, but he should be a light heavyweight, in my opinion. I think he should try and make the cut. Like, I see him as kind of like he's a middleweight sized heavyweight. Yeah. And I just don't think that's good. I think for the fight right now, like Chapman and all that, he's gonna win because, let's just be honest, these are just fat asses they're feeding him. But when he gets someone, like, I know they're like big, but like when he gets someone like Gaziev, someone like Brando Pericic, hell, I think they're gonna feed him to Gable, because I think that's an easy win for Gable. I just think when he gets these real heavyweights, he's just gonna like fumble, because he's just gonna get with size. Like, even the smallest heavyweight right now, Rakic, only weighs 1 pound less than him.
Yeah, and he's taller.
So, yeah, and he's way taller. I just think he's gonna get to like maybe the top 15 after being gifted a ranking, and then just lose 5 in a row.
Damn.
I'm gonna go Wint here by finish first round. I'm not gonna put off a sub entirely, because I feel like Chapman could just like fall over and just give up his back and just get like a rear naked choke put on him. So yeah, I think maybe sub is live because there's really good odds on it. But I just go finish first round.
Love it. And yeah, this is obvious from the UFC, right? Like, this is a situation where they want this guy, that they're turning him around fast, which means they want him to fucking win this fight. They want to build something at heavyweight. They want to start to build the division. We've seen it recently with Gable Steveson, and like, Anthony Wint fits the mold, man. He's super fucking athletic. He's super fucking explosive. He looks scary. He looks the part. I could see the UFC getting just behind this fucking guy and pushing him to the moon. Former NFL player, as Toad was mentioning, and when it comes to that, like there's a level of athleticism that I don't necessarily think a lot of people grasp. Like the NFL, the athleticism for the majority of the guys in the NFL, barring some positions, is like otherworldly top fucking 0.2% athleticism. Me and DS actually played high school football with an elite NFL running back, okay? And we're not going to throw names out there to dox ourselves and shit. First round pick, Super Bowl winner, fucking collegiate stud, Rose Bowl, all that kind of shit. The athleticism is fucking different, guys. It is just a different level of athlete. And that's the difference here. Because Terrence Chapman is like an okay heavyweight for blob type of fucking heavyweights. And he's making his debut here. Short notice for him. Anthony Wint is going to blitz through this fucking guy. He's probably going to put him out cold in the first fucking minute or two. We can see an early stoppage in this one because that favors what the UFC wants. So if Chapman gets in any sort of trouble, I see them just stopping it. Chapman's hittable. Anthony Wint is also hittable and all that, but I think his power just fucking shows and his athleticism shows. So Anthony Wint round 1 KO is the pick here. I will say this, Toad, I agree with you. They're going to turn him around quick again. I don't even think it's 3-4 months. I think we see this guy in a month from now.
Yeah. No, I think there's a few fighters like that, right? Your early Tom Aspinall, so to speak. And to highlight him further real quick, while I grab something, he kind of did a good thing for the UFC with all of his YouTube blogs. A lot of guys that are competitive followed that shit because Tom was onto some things. He knew that being in instead of out and being athletic and being fast and having all these other looks you just don't see in modern MMA was what was going to lead him to become a champion very early on, bringing some fucking grit, some dedication, some grind to the sport, right? Not just being a fucking semi driver on the weekdays and a fighter on the weekends after how many burgers, like showing the fuck up, training real hard, being in when you should be out, etc. Tom Aspinall, midnight out of 25. His stock has faded severely since the whole I poke gone bomb fucking cheating. We all know Cyril Gane is lame for that shit, but people have faded that stock of his given the injury, the severity of it, the fact it took surgery. It's been this long. There's fighters out there that are going to get these clean finishes, and eventually they're going to run out of guys. Out of the top 8 guys, I've beat half of them in the first round with a fucking jab. Like, who's next? And I could see this guy making that shockwave. However, to say that he's not capable of light heavyweight, I mean, maybe he looks like he could transition for sure. But what's going to give him success at the heavyweight level is his power, his muscle density, the speed and athleticism should allow him to tag up first. And I don't think a lot of these guys are going to eat it, and especially not the fucking blobs. He could also fight Gazib tonight, and I'd still take him to hit this fucking knockout, by the way. So there's that.
There we go. And speaking of Anthony Wint, I did reach out to friend of the channel, Impa Kasanganai, who's going to be cornering Anthony Wint this weekend. I reached out to him, so we're trying to set something up with an Anthony Wint interview, hopefully within the next week or two. Hopefully he gets this knockout quick, and then we can get him on and turn his ass around in 2 weeks. I think that would be dope. I'm rooting for the guy. We need something new at heavyweight, so shout out Anthony Wint. We're all on the fucking hype train for right now. Next fight of the night, and it is the second ladies' fight of the night. It is Carly Judice, crispy Carly Judice, as DS likes to call her, Carly Judice. She is taking on Jaisla Chavez. Toad, I'm giving you the floor. I pressed the wrong fucking thing again. That's the theme today. Go for it.
You're good, bro. Yeah, Carly's a little bit of a pit bull. I've used that word a few times, but I say it when I find a fighter to be ferocious. They hit that gas pedal. They don't know any other way. They come forward. They send it. Judice, she's mixing these wonderful fucking kicks into her game. A lot of these girls that get rowdy, they just stick to the hands. What I like about Judice is she's ripping some fucking wonderful kicks and mixing it up at all times. And yeah, it's quite an interesting thing to see for people who are on the outside looking in. Like, why is everyone so high on the non-undefeated fighter that have almost the same amount of professional fights? And it's just because styles make matchups sometimes. And like, Carly is just one of these girls that, as much as people brag and get upset on the community of women's MMA, she's one that will never disappoint. They do a good thing by making her fight in front of people who pay for tickets. She shows up. Now, I'm not confident this is a first round thing. I expect this to be a second, third round finish, but I like Giudice by getting a potential second, if not third round knockout this week. And I know I was writing that Dyer knockout earlier on my draft show with Fight Fiend Forecast. Had the awesome guest appearance from the debuting, the 10-7 MMA showing up, making an appearance there. And he took Carly by that knockout. And I'm like, brother, we should parlay that, because truly I believe in both women hitting their knockouts on this card. And that's my prediction. I think it comes in, if not the second, if not third round, via some kind of kick or some crazy shit.
Boom. Chunder.
Yeah, this fight is close to me, but it's like I see Carly Giudice just being more aggressive, and I think Chavez has taken a lot of damage in her career. So I see a Giudice KO as well, late, rounds 2 or 3.
I love it. And to me, the difference in this one is honestly the mean streak of Carly Giudice, right? Jaisla Chavez is not like a fucking mean, aggressive lady. Carly Giudice, like, if she smells blood, she fucking goes for it. Now, let's talk about this undefeated fighter, right? We're talking about Jaisla Chavez. You look at her record, and she has 2 wins under the Zuffa umbrella. First, her Contender Series fight, and then she beat Junice Dubin by split decision in her UFC debut. And then her Contender Series fight was also a split decision against a lady named Sofia Montenegro, who is not from Montenegro, but she's from Argentina. She'll be fucking debuting in the UFC soon, off of a loss on the Contender Series, right? So what does that tell you? The UFC is desperate for new blood in the women's divisions, that they're bringing on people that they don't necessarily fucking believe in. Carly Giudice is better than Jaisla Chavez. Yes, Jaisla Chavez is undefeated, but she doesn't deserve to fucking be here yet. I don't think she's UFC caliber yet. Not to say she can't be, not to say that her skills aren't good. They are, but she's just not nearly as aggressive as Carly Giudice. There's a joke that a lot of people like to do in the MMA community when it comes to picking women's fights, and it's like, I'm going to pick the one that's like more of a fucking man, that looks more like a man. I'm going to pick the lesbian and all that kind of shit, and it's like, it's funny, but like Carly Giudice fights aggressive as fuck. Jaisla Chavez doesn't. So I'm going to take the aggressive lady. Give me crispy Carly Giudice. I like finish. I like decision. I like money line on this. I'm fairly confident she wins this fucking fight. So that's what we're doing. We're all going crispy Carly in that one. I want to go to the chat because I thought this was funny. Lars in the chat goes, Fluffy will show levels, by the way. The next comment, First Kings, Fluffy getting exposed at home. So the community's fucking split on the main event. We're going to get into it in a minute. Coffee, breakfast, herbs, picks. Shout out this guy. Was in the chat last week. What do you guys think about Dyer by TKO round 2, 3, or TKO DQ? I'm late to the show. We're all on it. All of us are on Chanel Dyer by knockout, like, pretty fucking confidently. So we are with that pick. He makes some great fucking suggestions, by the way. Moving on to the next fight of the night, guys. This is a banger. This is a fucking banger. I was talking about a dog earlier, right? We were talking about like who's a dog and this and that. Mason Jones is a guy, and I think he's an exception to the rule, where like the thing we break down about Mason Jones is how fucking gritty he is, how tough he is, how much of a dog he is, how much of a fucking go-getter he is. Yet he's 18-2. Like, this guy is the outlier. He is the exception to the rule when it comes to these dogs, because I don't necessarily see a skill where I'm like, fuck, Mason Jones has really good, clean boxing or great power or great takedowns or great jiu-jitsu. He just goes for it and he fucking gets it. He's taking on Medeiros, who we talked about a little bit earlier when it came to the taco fight. Toad, just give me your thoughts on this fight. I think this has potential to be fight of the night. You're muted again.
My bad, brother. I was just going to say, like, you timed it wonderfully. I was just going to mention, like, he does get performance bonuses. He does get fights of the nights. It's because Mason Jones is really fucking gritty. Like, he comes forward. He has wonderful striking. There were some doubts recently. He had that fight against Sola. I heard a lot of the other side of the pond on that fight. The issue with Jones is when things didn't work out for him at the UFC level, he only grew to become that much better, that much more determined back at Cage Warriors, where he became a champ, beating the shit out of his opponents. Obviously, at a UFC level, he's done nothing but, for the overall part of his career, looked very good. Losing to Ludovic Klein, that's not a bad fucking thing. Like, Klein's a monster in his own regard. You know what I mean? Like, on the right day, sure. And then another one is Mike Davis in 21 when he was looking really fucking good and wasn't confused if he was a mixed martial artist versus a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. Because I remember, like a couple of years ago, Davis started a fight scooting on his ass. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So again, shout out to the fact that Mason's only fought some tough guys. People have counted him out. He's not really on people's radars, as you mentioned. He's kind of overlooked. There's always like a bigger star on the card that people are always flocking to and not giving this guy his flowers. So Mason Jones, easily one of the picks of this week on the draft that I would be very confident in hitting. But yeah, he's going to get it done more times than not by knockout as he starts to, again, find his rhythm, find his time. Not all these fights are going to end by a knockout, but he's rewarded with, like I said, a bonus for being a fight of the night because he's certainly committed to trying the whole 15 minutes. He's not ever giving up. And yeah, I like a guy that doesn't quit on me when he takes it back. He's a great hammer and nail both. That's what Jones is known for.
Yeah. So you're going Mason Jones. What's the method?
I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with a knockout, given that his opponent's going out there for the same thing, and they're not going to let up. There's just going to be too much back and forth exchanges in this until it hits. So knockout.
Boom. Chunder. You're muted.
Fuck. I want to just say Mason Jones nomination, but there's like an inkling in the back of my mind where it's like he's very hittable. Like he is. I remember the spinning back fist he ran into from Axel Sola. And Medeiros is very good with shots like that, I believe. So there's going to be that like kind of nervous energy in my mind. Honestly, I would just take fight to not go the distance as my, actually my bet in this one. It's not my channel, I can say this. But Mason Jones, I'm going to pick him by knockout Lee. I just think the volume and the pressure is going to get to Medeiros at some point. But I do believe Medeiros has the ability to just fluke this one with like something spinning.
Yep. Yeah, I'm in the same fucking boat as you guys. I'm in the same boat as Coffee Breakfast Herbs, I think, more specifically. I think this fight, man, the more I think about it, the more I'm tempted to go with Medeiros, right? I do respect Mason Jones. I think he's unbelievable. That constant pressure, the ability to just be a fucking dog and take damage. I've seen this guy fight live, and it was so fucking entertaining. I've seen multiple world champions, yet I felt like honored to be watching Mason Jones. I was super entertained by him. When it comes to Markel Medeiros, he hasn't put his best foot forward in the UFC, right? But a lot of people were hyped on this guy. Heavy fucking finisher, has no finishes in the UFC. He's 3-0-1. He should be 3-1. So let's count that as a decision loss. But ever since he entered the promotion, those finishes are fucking gone. Decision against Landon Quinones, a split decision against Austin Hubbard, a decision against Mark Chowinski, and then a decision that ended up being a fucking draw, which was bullshit, against Taco Padilla. He's fighting too pretty for me in the UFC, right? And so there's a massive fucking clash of styles here. One guy wants to fight very pretty. He wants to stay at range. He wants to poke and prod and kind of do his damage that way. On the other side, Mason Jones wants to just make this as sloppy as fucking possible, right? So I'm torn on this one, but I have to take the guy that I know is going to take the fight where he wants it, and that's Mason Jones. I think he's going to make it too ugly for Medeiros. I think we get a bloody, scrappy-ass, fucking crazy close decision. I could see, I love this, right? Medeiros plus 3.5 / Jones by a greasy ass split, essentially, right? I can see us getting upset at a fucking weird decision going the other way. That's kind of how I see it. It's that fucking close. Give me Mason Jones. I'm going to take him by decision, but I am not like at all confident in this one, to be honest with you. First King says Medeiros going to chin him. Just watch. It's possible. How the fuck was that last Medeiros fight a draw when we see him clearly get outboxed by Taco? I'm saying. And then MMA Now says we going 12-0. I doubt it. I ain't gonna lie to you, MMA Now. I doubt it, but we're fucking trying, my boy. We're moving on to the feature fight of the night, and this should have been the co-main event. It was for a while. They slotted it down. But it's interesting because we're seeing two middleweights go up to 205, which I don't love because it doesn't fucking tell us anything about what they're going to look like against 205. But it is Reinier de Ridder, the former ONE FC double champ, and he has taken on Georgia's Roman Dolidze, who's just out there living with Cheyenne Felicitous, just fucking enjoying life. Toad.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see them make this fight at 205. It's almost like I perceive it as a fucking catchweight bout. Like, couldn't make the weight. Here we are, is what it is, but short notice kind of shit. But no, filling out the weight. De Ridder obviously showing up. You compare his previous fights to now, showing up smiling. His body isn't sank. Like he absolutely looks like he's the 95+% favorite showing up this week. So De Ridder, very good, obviously, more dangerous, getting guys to the ground where he's been a practitioner and getting these submission wins. And it's a very interesting look at Dolidze, right? If it wasn't for the blueprints that Fluffy put out there to say, hey, this is how you choke this guy out, some people would sit here and argue this week, oh, you can't really choke out Dolidze. He's an amazing grappler in his own regard. He's so strong, so powerful, like good fucking luck. A lot of guys grind out decisions with him, but given the extra energy, the power, the way that De Ridder has truly had to come down, much like a guy like Poatan, from being a true light heavyweight to being a bully at middleweight. He's back at his natural weight class where he shows up best. This is the former champ at one championship fighting at this weight until the promotion here came to the UFC level. So again, I'm going to say De Ridder gets it done as well in this fight via finish. I'm expecting a lot of finishes on this card. Wouldn't be surprised if it's on the ground late 2 or 3, going for the submission while working the ground and pound. Dolidze is too tough to really put out of there with striking normally. It'd be weird to see like some fucking Bo Nickel knee up the middle to the body, almost like how he hit Kevin Holland, the shot to the ribs that made Holland quit. It could be something crazy like that, sure, but not with these two. They're gonna go for it. And I got De Ridder late in this fight, either showing up to get a finish or convincingly taking a unanimous decision at the end. So
I love that. We got Never Hold Hands in the chat. Can someone explain what the profile picture on the bottom right is about? I'm gonna put them on screen. This is Chunder MMA, formerly known as I Might Be Wrong. Chunder, you want to tell Never Hold Hands what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, so I was the Marab fucking profile picture like from last week. I've rebranded because I'm just frankly bored of it. I'm having an identity crisis. I hear voices now. It's very weird. And this is the new profile picture.
Boom. Now give us your fucking thoughts. RDR Roman Dolidze.
I'm gonna go with my boy RDR, the future 205 champion. Although he's very hittable, so he's probably gonna get like slimed the fuck out on the way there. And I will cry at that. I will cry. But I think he will take down Roman Dolidze early, and I think we get a statement submission second round, maybe first. But I think if he's able to take down Brendan Allen that easy, I think he should be able to take down Roman Dolidze that easy.
Yeah. Sometimes the MMA math be mathing. Look, I'm going RDR as well for a lot of the reasons you guys said, right? Very long and awkward guy. He has shown that he can be elite at this division. Yes, it was outside of the promotion, but it was at ONE FC. And at that time, ONE was literally the second best promotion on earth. If you give me, my fucking, that's my opinion on it anyway. So he's moving back to 205. I would love to see this guy face an actual 205er. So I don't think we necessarily learn anything in this. I agree with what I'm reading in the chat. Roman Dolidze to me is washed, but he is a very thick ass fucking dude. He's very powerful. He's very aggressive. When he sees a submission, he's not like opposed to breaking a fucking limb. Like Roman Dolidze has a mean streak to him. And I don't know that RDR necessarily does. So that's freaking me out a little bit. But RDR is so much bigger in terms of height than Roman Dolidze. He's more experienced at fighting at this weight than Roman Dolidze. He's more of a finisher. I see you, Never Hold Hands. My bad. Pause, no Diddy. Ayo, you're right. But he is a thick dude. I don't think we could lie about that. RDR is just a better fighter. What I want to see is if RDR wins this fight, I want him to face a guy like a Yuri Prohashka, an Ankalaev, if Johnny Walker moves back down to 205, like an actual 205er to kind of give us a better idea of where he stands in the division. Plus him talking shit about Yuri, go fuck yourself, RDR. You had a fan in me. I didn't believe in you at first. I believed in you. You made me fucking disbelieve, and then now I'm just angry. So I don't fuck with it. RDR is going to win this fight. I want to see him get fucked up by somebody actually at 205.
Wait, what did you say about Yuri?
What was that, you, Chunder?
What did he say about Yuri? I didn't know about this.
We're not going to repeat it, but I'll send you the link. If anyone can do it, it's you, says MMA now. De Ridder, inside the distance. Roman Washington coming up to 205. Fight ends by sub. RDR by sub. Yeah, I'm going sub late. I don't think I threw that out there, but it could also be a TKO. I don't like method on this one, let's say. He's hearing voices in his head. Coward. Remember that dialogue from the Spider-Man movie? That's in reference to you, Chunder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Willem Dafoe.
There we go. Thought it was an AI-generated Dark Tower reference in front of the Italian flag. I'm glad I had the more extensive explanation. And there we go. That's what we're here for, my boy. I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat never hold hands. So if you guys are like him, press the fucking like and subscribe button. We're trying to get some places. Help us out. It means a lot to us. GSB back in the chat. The voices in my head are telling me to bet Ketlin Vieira because she missed weight by fucking 8 pounds. That's some shitty shit to do. Also, I agree he should fight a real contender at 205, but there are none. Jamal Hill leaving the division in flux. Let that sink. Put the division in flux, basically, right? I think Jamal Hill goes up to heavyweight and looks fucking great until he reaches the top 5.
Yeah, very well possible.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, again, it goes with this whole idea that there are a lot of blobby heavyweights that they're going to get tagged up initially, and the sequences don't normally like, all right, your turn. Not at heavyweight. The power is a little special. It's a little different. These guys, they're professional athletes. They have to do so much shit to maintain a diet, to cut, to hit, certain weight classes. I wouldn't say it was always the hardest thing for Jamal Hill at light heavyweight. He's at a stage in his career. He's had some injuries. Sure. He wants to try it out, moving up in weight and see what he can really do while, living life, which is something that dude totally loves to fucking do. Jamal Hill's like a neighbor to me, 45 minutes away is Black Line Gym, and big fan of his. I'm hoping he can do something at heavyweight before we close out the show. You know what I mean? It's been tough, but in his own regard, he's only really lost to some tough guys too. Paul Craig really opened the can of worms initially. He was another one of my favorite fighters. So he's been kind of part of all the fights that I've been very interested in knowing the outcome. Not to mention, he's my first ever in-person main event. Jamal Hill was at UFC 300. Give some fucking respects because that was also another big step up fill-in performance against a formidable Poetan, Alex Pereira, which ain't no joke with the hands of stone, right? To say sign a piece of paper that says I'm gonna go fight that guy. So
on the biggest card in UFC history, shout out Jamal Hill. Yes, he's a Detroit guy. I think he was born in Chicago, by the way.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yeah,
there it is. And born in Chicago. Love Jamal Hill. Respect him. I will say this, right? We're talking about Jamal Hill. Yuri Prohashka follows us on Instagram. So should y'all. Like the thing at the bottom is going to say in 1 second. Jamal Hill doesn't, but he will soon. Alex Pereira has us blocked. So I don't fuck with that. I don't know what that's about. I don't fuck with it at all. So we're going to try to get both on not only unblock us, follow us. That's the fucking goal here. But yeah, that's what we need. You guys ready to move on to the co-main event? And by the way, yeah. I just want to say, never hold hands. I'm sorry. I've seen the Diddy profile picture. I didn't remember the name, but my bad. I appreciate you. The Ridder inside the distance went over half a takedown. Dyer by TKO or KO or DQ 3-leg. Y'all stamp this. Yeah.
I
went to scary because he might just come out slug. You know what I mean?
I like the Dyer knockout. The Ridder inside the distance. I like it, but it's not the easiest of sweats still. The value is good for a reason. It was at plus money, and it's because people respect Dolidze's grappling background as well as his physical fucking durability over 15 minutes. If we had 25 minutes, I'd be way more confident in Ridder to find the finish, but I'm ever so slightly leaning that way, but it's not of high confidence for a 3-leg parlay. And then the takedown with Wentz a possibility, but no, he could totally slug it like Bam Bam's saying and just hit a fucking homer on the feet. So I don't like that either. But yeah, I'd say you guys want a good prop. Here's one I'll give you on this next co-main here.
Give it a second.
Yeah, sorry. But
I just want to read the chat real quick, and we're going to get into that fight. Ketlin Vieira, how many is she docked for missing weight, or was it only the PFL? It's not a tournament. I believe it's Chris Cyborg's retirement fight. It's just a fight. And from what I know, they're not doing point docking in the fucking PFL, so she's just going to lose some money. Persian in the chat says RDR kills Yuri. Persian, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut up with that fucking nonsense. Bringing some bullshit in my chat. I do think it makes a lot of sense to move up to an easier division if you can see yourself as beatable at the top. just burn through the contract quicker. Maybe. Persian, you're a dumbass, says Vex. I agree. Same dumbass who thinks Yuri beats Ank. Get the fuck out of here. Yuri flatlines Ankalaev. Yuri owns your entire bloodline. Dude would lose to a healthy Rakic and Azmat. He fucking already beat Rakic and fucked him up. And Azmat is dog shit. He's ass. He got fucking slept by Paulo Costa.
Dude, I was there for that one. Yuri beat the shit. The dude next to me was just, he didn't have seats. He was just drunk with his buddy walking around. They stopped right next to me right for that fight. And they were screaming for Rakic to beat up Yuri. And I'm like, dude, Yuri's going to come back in the second. And if possible, a third round, he's going to knock this dude the fuck out. And hate to it. You know, that's when it all began. I hate to say it, so, but dude, Yuri's got heart. And it takes a special guy like Poatan to do what he's done with the same conviction. Jamal Hill in his own right. Former champion. Got to put some respect on that, right? There were some pretty good guys up there around that time. And yeah, he did fight Glover, who had a second win against a guy like Yuri. So don't sit here and say that he definitely wasn't a top level guy. He fought Yuri, and we all know the outcome of that. Got broke apart pretty badly. Yuri, in his own regard, is a very elite light heavyweight, and he may not be the champ, but got to have some respect on it for sure. And he'll fall right up there with like a Dustin to me if he doesn't get that fucking belt.
He did get the belt.
Again. I want him to get this again. Like, I want him to leave on the sunset. Poatan's out of the picture. I want him to go up and beat Wolberg or whatever that situation looks like, because I know that he can. He's had so much heart to get knocked down that many times to keep coming back.
King RZ in the chat. When did we get a Hokit collab? Am I right, Toad? That's one of those.
Oh, yeah. Hokit collab, yeah.
Spivac by sub, Petrino by TKO, double chance. We're going to talk about it in 1 second. RDR should call for Yuri Seppuku if he gets a finish. Start some cringe honor-based beef. Yuri was going to fucking kill RDR if they fight. Rakic had staff, take a shower. Persian, sure, buddy. He did, says this guy. Usman loses to Jalen Turner, by the way. Big fucking facts. You're not even, they're just bothering this guy. All right. Let's move on to the fucking co-main event of the evening. Shit's getting off the fucking rails here. 23 minutes remaining, guys. Last two picks here. The co-main event is Serghei Spivac. He's a great fighter. I'd love to fight him. He's taking on Vitor Petrino. Toad, talk to me. What do you think about this co-main event?
Serghei, he is a great fighter. And no, I wouldn't love to fight him. Spivac has a lot of pressure, comes off the rip early. He's no secret to getting the fight to the ground where he thrives the most. And there's some good question marks this week that, again, you could look at the fight history with Petrino and go, okay, you know, Serghei's got some blueprints here. If some of these other guys are having success, he certainly can fucking have his own, right? Thomas the Train having a good look there. Spivak's submission prop is pretty disrespectful this week. It's plus 600 for me, or was. Had to take advantage of that one because it's also his own road to least resistance. Being on the feet with Vitor isn't going to be fun. Serghei has improved a lot in the striking developments. He's got a long-rangey kick. He's got some good size to him. A little bit of a pooch, a little bit of a breadbasket where he eats his own shots back in his own regard. It's the heavyweight division. We can do that. But Serghei was one of those OG, hey, I'm not a blob heavyweight, but I'm a little better. I'm gonna be a little faster. That goes with his element of surprise to get the fucking takedowns when he's charging across, making his moments happen. He's beatable, sure, but man, I think that if he's able to find this fight to the ground, Petrino could get finished with either ground and pound or submission. So I'm taking Serghei. I was kind of surprised to see more people on Vitor. He's got all the fucking genetics and horse meat in the bag to get it done, but he sometimes just goes out there and it's the fight IQ I question when he's connecting and throwing and measured. What a fucking unit of a dude, but I think Serghei's more vet and OG than that, and he's going to show you got to mix it up too, and we're not going to see the improvements for Vitor. He gets drowned in the deep ends. Could be early in this fight for second round.
Love it. And then I see Never Hold Hands in the chat. He goes, would you love to fight him? I think you'd be surprised. He'd beat the fuck out of you. That's the Joe Rogan reference. My I'd love to fight him was a Tom Aspinall reference. I just don't have the accent to do it. Serghei Spivac.
He's a great fighter. Yeah, I can't do it either.
I'd love to fight him. Chunder, go.
I'm going to go Serghei Spivac by finishing this one. I believe he can sub him or knock him out. I think people don't fucking talk about it, lad. But Vitor Petrino he's chinny at heavyweight. Let's just say how it is. He's fucking a chinny chinster. I believe Spivak's going to hurt him bad with a stiff jab, and then either club and sub or ground and pound.
Yeah, I'm less confident, I feel like, than most people are in this one, but I'm also taking Serghei Spivac for some of those same reasons, right? Vitor Petrino, very athletic for the division, but he is a 205er. Serghei Spivac is a natural fucking humongous heavyweight. And Toad, you were alluding to it. He's not necessarily like that blob mold, but he's as big as the fucking blobs. He does have great submission skills. He's faced harder hitters than Vitor Petrino, and Vitor Petrino has looked good at heavyweight for what it's worth, but it's been against subpar competition compared to what we're seeing here in Serghei Spivac. I think Serghei Spivac finishes this fight via ground and pound. Submission is live as well, but I think if he's able to get Vitor Petrino down, how the fuck is Vitor Petrino going to get up from underneath this big-ass dude? I'm taking the dog here. I like Serghei Spivac in this one, and I'm fucking sticking with it. I'm sticking with Serghei Spivac. And that's what the fuck we're doing. And I would go to the chat, but the chat is on bullshit right now. They're just arguing with each other, and I appreciate that. Have fun,
Yeah.
you know. Everyone that loses, by the way, that Persian likes had staph infection. Okay, I just need to allude to that. So if anyone that Persian picks ever loses, it's staph infection, or they were injured before the fight, or there was some fucking nonsense happening. Coffee, breakfast, herbs picks. Spivac was outboxing the last dude he fought. And Serghei Spivac's a great fighter. I'd love to fight him.
He's improved a lot in the striking game. He was aware of the challenge ahead of him at the top of the heavyweight with elite boxers, strikers like Tom Aspinall, guys like Gane. He knew that he was going to push for this thing. His grappling's already in the back pocket. He's been focusing more on his striking. It just some of these nerds get so in love with the striking, they give up the thing that got them to the dance, and they find themselves knocked the fuck out. He's very good about mixing it and finding his opportunity for that finish still.
And Toad, here it is, right? I was just talking about Khamzat wasn't injured or had staph, and I was like, let's wait on it. And then Vex fucking throws it in there. Blame it on the bad weight cut. I dare you. Yeah, Strickland was just better. There it is. He got robbed. So there's always a fucking. These guys can't lose. Umar's hand was broken. This guy got fucking robbed. Islam Makhachev, when he got knocked the fuck out, just got caught. Movsar is going to get robbed in Abu Dhabi if he loses that fucking fight. Like, there's never just going to be like a man, he was just better than him. He was just better than him on that fucking day. So
there's a reason why Khamzat fell out of Strickland's camp, right? He liked bullying down, but he didn't like fighting someone measured or being bullied upon. That whole thing with Strickland's camp's a real thing, man. Strickland gave him some shit he didn't like. Showed he was beatable already, and he knew that going into that fight too, and they both knew it. That's why you saw Khamzat still give some respect a little bit to Strickland throughout all this. There was that like shake of hands and love still, because they already had that before a little bit. Strickland was more live than people credited.
He goes, 10, you admitted you had Jones winning against Reyes. That's insane. I said upon watching it live, it was 3-2 Jones, because I knew the judges were not going to fucking take John Jones's undefeated record from him for a close fight. So I said it was 3-2 Jones in that aspect. Watching it back, yeah, you could score the fucking fight for Reyes, but they're never going to do that. That's why close decisions like Volk and Islam don't fucking go to Volk, right?
Yeah.
You can make the case that Volk won it. Islam won the fight, fine. But, like, you can make the argument. They're just never going to take that from Islam Makhachev. That's my whole fucking point. And, yes, Joel Alvarez lost fair and square because he's fucking ass. Joel Alvarez fucking sucks, and I regret picking him. Anyways, we move on to the main event of the evening. The reason everyone is here, we got people leaving the chat. They're upset. We got Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, and he is taking on Robocop Rodrigues. Guys, a couple things of note. Number one, of course, this is a main event. It is 5 rounds. That fucking plays into what Anthony Hernandez wants to do and what Gregory Rodrigues does not want to do. This fight is also in California, so Anthony Hernandez, for what it's worth, the hometown guy in this one, should have the crowd behind him if you guys put any fucking weight into that and think that matters at all. Yeah, I'm going to give the floor to MMA Toad. Give me this fucking breakdown on this main event. I'm seeing a lot of people split on this one.
Yeah. And just to kind of get back into this main card here, this main event here, it is closer than some weeks. You know, we credit a lot of fights being on 80-20, 90-10, like, oh, we're so excited for this one guy to win, right? This is a fight that has two people that are respected in the MMA coming together in the community to have their debates on, which is Gotta love it in the fight space. That's why we're here, right? But at the end of the day, I am surprised to hear not as much confidence behind Hernandez, the streaking former and still current contender, right? He's only in his 5th position here. It's not like he deranked hard, losing to one of the best resumes in the division's history in Sean Strickland. He's definitely up there. Hernandez was on his way, and he would have gotten that fight had it not been for this shit with Hamzat, in my opinion. He got hurt to the body, happens. Rodrigues, we caution this because, yes, he throws with power, yes, but he's not one of those guys that really finds himself really building into a fight late, whereas Hernandez has shown to be okay come that 2nd, 3rd round as his pressure continues to melt. He's had these long scraps, guys like Allen, where it's a little back and forth until they finally crumble and he gets that submission. More times than not, it's a choke. Rodrigues has answered the question a few times through the media this week, like, hey, I might get my own choke. If you truly believe in that, go bet, because the bookies have them at like a 1,700 prop via submission because they don't think it's happening at all. I think the blueprints are there all day that Rodrigues is a beatable guy. I love the Hulk. I'm a big fan of Bruno. He got it done in one fucking punch, guys. Just as Robocop did it back. Like, they fed each other that same syrup. You know what I mean? Hernandez has so much more grit, so much more dog, and can drag out and take fights to some deep waters. Again, I'm not going to fade him because he lost to one of the fucking goats in the division right now in the current roster. So give me Hernandez to get it done. I don't think this is going to the judges. I have him by a 3rd round finish, probably a submission via club and sub or taking the back. Rodrigues may be a good grappler, but Hernandez pressure is swift. His transitions, his speed. He may very well find his way around the back of Robocop on the ground, feeding shots and slip up the choke around the neck.
Boom. Chunder.
Yeah, I'm going to go Gregory Rodrigues in this one. I just believe that. I just think the power is just going to be too much of a factor. But I will say, I wouldn't fully just do knockout. I'd do first 3 rounds. But if we get halfway through round 3, and it's been Robocop all the way, but he looks like he's breathing heavy, I would live pick Hernandez right there. But I just think Robocop is gonna he's gonna know what to do. It's the body, like it's nearly obvious at this point. And Hernandez is gonna be worried about that, and he's gonna leave his chin open. And Hernandez has been able to take a lot of punches from a lot of these guys, but I just think Robocop, I just don't think he can do that against him. So,
yeah,
I see Robocop chinning him.
Look, man, it's a tale of 2 different kind of fucking fighters, this one, right? Gregory Robocop Rodrigues, for what it's worth, the majority of his fights that he ends up winning and, are finishes fairly early on in the fight. And when it comes to Anthony Hernandez, the way he loses, I mean, we saw it last time out with Sean Strickland, knee to the fucking body. We've seen him finish to the body by Kevin Holland. We've seen him hurt to the body a bunch, but he barely loses, right? Like that's basically fucking it. You look at his wins in the UFC, Roman Dolidze, he absolutely bullied and fucking just abused him. Brendan Allen, same type of situation. I think the fight that this is most similar to on the fluffy side is the Michel Pereira fight. I know Pereira gassed out earlier than we all expected him to, but that's exactly what happened. It was a fucking massive power puncher, came out there, got his energy fucking zapped, and then Anthony Hernandez was able to find that finish late. If you want to look at a fight on the other side, when you're looking at Gregory Rodrigues, looking at it from his perspective, I think the interesting fight to look at is the Jared Cannonier fight, because he was having so much success early, couldn't get Jared Cannonier out of there, ends up fucking losing, right? So we know his tank is not necessarily going to hold up if Fluffy is able to implement his game plan. Anthony Hernandez is not stupid. The recipe is out there, as you guys were alluding to. It's hurt him to the body, and you'll get him the fuck out of there. I saw a comment in the chat earlier, and I can't find it right now because I don't want to scroll up, but it was Anthony Hernandez is chinny to the body. I think that's hilarious. It makes a lot of fucking sense, and it is the truth. But at the same time, he knows that. Chunder, you're saying he's going to be overprotective of his body and leave his chin exposed. He's not going to do that either, man. Like, you understand that Robocop comes in there. He has a presence. He has power, like insane power early on in the fight. I think Hernandez fights a very safe round 1 and 2, stays away from Robocop. He's going to be the faster guy. He's going to be able to stay away from him and only get in when he wants to initiate a clinch or some sort of takedown attempt. And so long as he stays safe, I'm very confident he wins this fight. As the minutes tick on, I'm more and more confident for Anthony Hernandez. So ultimately, I'll say he survives a very fucking dangerous first few 7 or 8 minutes, and then eventually starts rolling downhill, hurts Gregory Rodrigues, starts to zap his gas tank, run it out, and yeah, Anthony Hernandez, I'm going late finish, round 4 or 5 on the ground. Could be a sub. I think actually more than likely it ends up being a TKO. And yeah, that's the way I'm fucking going. I'm on the fluffy side. I'm not a big fan of what have you done for me lately, or a guy that just likes to look at your last performance. But even if you do that with Fluffy Hernandez, like, we're underrating who that was. That's the champion of the world. It was Sean Strickland. Like, Sean Strickland is going to fuck you up with the striking. Yes, it's not as powerful as some of the people in this division, but when he's on and he's accurate, he can fucking hurt you, man. And it was just a matter of hitting him at the right time, at the right spot. So I'm going Fluffy here. We're kind of split on this one. Just in general, do you guys think that breakdown is right? It's Gregory early, Fluffy late.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Fluffy for sure, middle of the fight. I don't even see this one getting late. It's either early Robocop or Fluffy right afterwards, like a third round, I'm saying. So I'd be surprised to see a 4th or 5th round. I mean, could happen. I think Robocop has shown some times where he's gone through some wars for more than just 5 minutes. It's totally a thing. Hernandez is a volume guy that catches up. But I think
how much do you put into Anthony Hernandez training now with Sean Strickland, with Chris Curtis, with fucking Dante Johnson, with those guys? Like, does that matter?
It does. Training with Strickland is going to help him very defensively, because you got a guy who's in the middleweight division who's notorious for walking at people that have all of the tools and capabilities of knocking them the fuck out. It simply never happens, or happens easily, right? And that's Sean Strickland. I think Hernandez, obviously very well versed in the grappling upside. Anything he could further his game's going to be on the feet. Strickland's not a bad guy to train with. His team, his resources, they really get a good grasp for really any opponent. We've seen guys train with Strickland and come out just spectacular. And it's not a riddle at this point. The recipe is there. They know it. They teach it. They share it. And guys only show out and leave out better from that gem. So I was already going to take Fluffy before. That's another convincing piece in this for me that says, give me Hernandez for sure.
Yeah, and shout out Extreme Couture. In December, I plan on going to the UFC card in Vegas, and we're gonna talk to Justin James and everything. We're gonna be setting something up at Extreme Couture, which is gonna be sick.
Fuck yeah!
So I'm excited to do that. But anyways, that's the main event pick. So guys, now what we do, if you guys are new to the show, what we do is we go through a little rundown. There's 6.5 minutes left until the card starts. So we go through every single fight. We give you guys our quick picks for the last time here. They're going to get posted on Instagram immediately afterwards. If you guys are new, like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, the107MMA. It would mean the world to us. Boys, are you guys ready to do the last little rundown here?
For sure. And definitely like and subscribe and comment, because you guys are busy throughout the week. You're making guest appearances in other shows, right? You've done Prop Fiends, now Draft over there. So show some love. It means a lot. Those likes do snowball in the community to bigger and better things the more you get them up. So and the other thing I want to settle on this main event, as people have bickered all fucking week and chat about it or whatever, you don't always have to bet on a fighter to win the fight. If you want to put action on a fight, it doesn't take money to be on a fight to be entertaining to me, first and foremost, and I love to establish that too. But if you're really itching to put something on it, had you ever thought fight not to go past, say, rounds 4 and 5 or something like that, or round 5? You just eliminated the coin flip and respected both reasons. Yes, Robocop's dangerous, very powerful. Hernandez was on his way to become a champ and fight fucking Hamza. And I'm sorry, with how Strickland showed up, Fluffy could be the champ right now. It's crazy.
You never know. So let's fire through it, guys. 5 minutes on the fucking ticker here. Everyone, 10, 15 seconds or so, your breakdowns. We're going to go Chunder. We're going to go Toad. We're going to go me. First fight of the night for the rapid picks here. Chanel Dyer, she's taking on Elise Reed. Chunder.
Dyer, brutal TKO.
Dyer, knockout, second round.
Yeah, no surprise. I'm also going Chanel Dyer. I think she gets it done with a KO. Elise Reed, not that fucking good. We got Jackson McVeigh. He is taking on Wes Schultz. Chunder.
You just heard the spirit of Ozzy Osbourne call out to me, but I'm going to pick Jackson McVeigh in this fight by TKO rounds 1 or 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jackson with a knockout round 1.
I'm also going Jackson McVeigh, knockout round 1. Wes Schultz, no bueno on the fucking feet. Gage Young, and he is taking on UFC debutant Stanley Dorsonville. Chunder.
I'm going to go Gage Young by TKO rounds 1 or 2. I just think Dorsonville has very lackluster defense, but he could edge him in the wrestling. Pause. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Stan with the submission. I've been swayed away. He showed up, watched some tape. He's looking good at the weigh-in. I'm gonna pull the upset on the world with Stan this week.
Yeah, I think the dogs are barking. I'm with Toad. I'm going Stanley Dorsonville in this one. I just don't rate Gage Young that fucking highly. I don't think his power is all that. I just don't see it. So I'll take a crack here. Pause, no Diddy on Stan Dorsonville. Marcio Barbosa, he is taking on UFC debutant again, Ryan Hughes. Chunder.
I'm going to go Mauricio Barbosa by late round 1 flatline KO.
Yeah, Barbosa via bazooka, round 1.
Yeah, this is the freest pick of the night. I think it's Mauricio Barbosa by knockout. If I have to pick a round, I'll say 1. I'm going to fuck around and sprinkle on rounds 2 and 3, though, just to be a degenerate. We move on to the next fight of the night, and it is Nasrat Haqparast taking on the newest friend of the channel here at the 10-7 MMA, Chris Taco Padilla. Chunder.
I'm going to go Chris Padilla by late TKO or 29-28.
Yeah, I have Chris by late finish, either second or third round. Could go to the decision, but I think, I don't know, Nasrat's had a wave slipping through 15 minutes. People maybe expecting Taco, not capable of it, but I think he does find a way.
Yeah, I think it's taco time. I'm going Chris Padilla. I do believe that Nasrat Haqparast is a tough fucking code to crack. I think this will be just a gritty 15-minute war. Give me Taco Padilla by decision. We move on to the big boys, and it is Shamil the Blob, the meal deal Gaziev. He's taking on Kennedy and Nzechukwu. Chunder.
I'm going to go Kennedy and Nzechukwu after Shamil gasses midway through the second round by TKO late or 29-28.
I like the fucking Shamil, the meal deal. I'm going to go Kennedy via second round, third round. He's going to crack the pumpkin. It's just going to take a lot. So second or third round finish.
Yeah, one of my least confident picks on the card this week. I'm going to stick with my boy Kennedy and Nzechukwu. I think eventually Shamil gasses. I can see Shamil fucking just flatlining him, though, early. I hope not. Give me Kennedy by knockout. Jamal Emmers, he has taken on everyone's favorite fucking contender, Larian Douglas. Chunder.
Bro, I'm just crack the pumpkin's fucking great.
Do you see that fucking thing? Can we put that on the screen?
I haven't seen it. I just thought you came up with it there, but fuck.
He's a fucking dome, dude. How could you miss it? Just throw the kick up there. It'll find its way.
All right, I'm going to pick Larian Douglas by fucking knockout first 3 minutes of the fight.
Yeah, I'm going to say Douglas round 1. I cautioned very hard earlier. Emmers live 17-1 dog in this fight. The flock of seagulls, all the picks of the week of Cedric Douglas. Caution. This could be this could be your Smith, right? So yeah, this could be a big upset.
This could be the one that fucking fucks everybody's cards up. But I'm going to stick with Larian Douglas. I'm going to say round 2 knockout. I think Jamal Emmers has enough experience to survive early and know the danger that's coming. So that's the play here for me, but I wouldn't be fucking shocked is all I'm saying. We move on to another set of big boys. Anthony Wint, he's taking on Terrence Chapman. Guys, 1 minute. Let's fire.
Went with another bazooka first round.
Went by round 1 finish because the other guy's a fat ass.
Same. Anthony Wint, knockout round 1. Carly Judice, Jace LaChavez.
Judice by having killer instinct. KO Lee.
Yeah, Judice being a pit bull, ripping out her throat with a kick.
Same. Carly Judice by fucking finish him. Marcel Medeiros, he's taking on Mason Jones. Chunder.
I'm going to go Mason Jones by volume TKO late or 29-28.
Yeah, Jones with conviction, either late finish or decision win. I think it's a knockout. The pressure's coming. It's going to be a knockout more than likely.
The name is Markel Medeiros. I fucked up, but I'm going Mason Jones, another one that I'm iffy on. I could see it going the other way. RDR, Reinier de Ridder, Roman Dolidze at 205 pounds. Chunder.
I'm going with my boy RDR by sub rounds 1 or 2. I just believe he's going to get Roman Dolidze down, especially being revitalized, really healthy. He's going to do something.
I'm going to go with the refrigerator.
There it is.
I'm also going refrigerator.
I'm going with the diddler himself. Give me fucking Reinier de Ridder. Think he wins this fight. I want to see him fight a real 205er afterwards. Serghei Spivac, Vitor Petrino, co-main event. Chunder.
Spivac by club or sub or just knockout?
Yeah, Spivac by club and sub or submission. I think we get it to the ground. I don't know that we're going to be clubbing much, so I think it could be a takedown submission on the ground with ground and pound leading up to it. So plus 600 prop. That's one of my favorites of the week.
Serghei Spivac on the money line. I think all the ways of winning this fight are live. I don't rate Vitor Petrino very highly. And then finally, the main event of the evening, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, Gregory, Robocop Rodrigues in Sacramento. Chunder.
I'm going to go Gregory Rodrigues by fluke knockout first 3 rounds.
I'm going to go Fluffy, round 3 finish as the official round via submission. Yeah.
I want to get fucking slick with it, so I'm going to say Anthony Hernandez, round 5, TKO to ground and pound, face down, ass up, maybe a submission, but I like round 5. I'm vibing it. I'm feeling it. So that is UFC Sacramento, the pre-show live. I appreciate all of you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out Toad, MMA Toad. Everyone go follow him. Shout out the artist formerly known as I Might Be Wrong in the middle there, Chunda MMA. Of course, go follow these guys. While you're here, like and subscribe. It would mean the world to us. Follow us on Instagram, the107MMA. Let's go watch some motherfucking fights, guys. Bye.
Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
I'm going to be over Live Fight Companion over at Fight Fiend Forecast. Feel free to hop through over there if you're not doing anything. We get pretty rowdy, a lot of hooting and drinking, yelling at our screens, trying to make some money. So, hey, 10 units last week. Let's crush it again, boys.
Let's make some units. Chunder, you anywhere?
No, I'm just going to enjoy the fights.
There it is. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Bye.